Thank you for listening to Gettin Hard in Nate's Backyard. On this episode of the podcast, I sit down with my buddy Luc Hart. Luc plays in Regina-based Planet Eater, formerly of Agonal. Luc is a music producer, guitar player, and quite simply one of the raddest dudes I've ever met in my life. We regale about the past to an annoying amount and regale about the future, if that's possible. So as always, thanks for listening to the podcast. Hello, and welcome to Gettin Hard in Nate's Backyard, number 30. I'm here with my good buddy, Luc Hart.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, pretty good to see you.
It's crazy. You just whipped into town here, driving across the country, right?
Yeah, I was hanging out with the old lady for her family reunion, and then we slaughtered a bunch of children we found on the side of the road.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. And now you're on the lam. I got it.
Yeah, you know, just hanging out low key,
hiding in the bus.
Calgary. Yeah, in a strange black bus, you know, in a way bigger city than my own, just keeping it off the grid.
So I'm going to do some quick commercials. This podcast is brought to you by Right Hook Mics. RightHookMics.com. Go there and buy everything. It's amazing. They have a bunch of mics. They're coming out with a new crazy studio condenser mic. Like you know those blue, what was that blue ball thing?
Oh yeah. I know.
It's something like that.
Really?
Like,
they're gonna do one of those.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Go to RightHookMics.com. Our guests are using them. Nancy's here too. Say hi, Nancy.
Hi.
My wife's here, but she's not on mic, so she doesn't actually exist technically on this podcast.
But you can hear her lighter in the background.
Hi. Hi, Jill.
Make some of the greatest pancakes, by the way.
Yeah, this podcast is brought to you by my wife's pancakes.
This is real maple syrup, you guys.
So go to RightHookMics.com, and also this podcast is brought to you by me, Big Nate Productions. Go to BigNateProductions.com. Listen to this podcast. Check out all the shows we have coming up. We're going to talk about one with the almighty Planet Eater coming up, and which Luc's in. I probably mentioned that in the intro, I imagine.
No, I don't think so.
Well, past Nate knows what future Nate... Anyways. Future Nate will do an intro that will explain that you're in Planet Eater.
Oh, yeah, okay. I see how it works now. This ain't live. It's cool.
Yeah. Go there. I got my shows up, got links to all the other rad stuff. And go check out... This podcast isn't officially brought to you by, but... You know, go check out Armstrong, which is Armstrong MetalFest, July 17th and 18th in Armstrong, BC. If you grow pot, you know exactly where I'm talking about.
It's a beautiful place. I love it.
It is fucking awesome there, actually.
It's the best.
And they do it on, it's hilarious. It's like their mini little stampede grounds.
I know. You think you're in the middle of Swift Current or something like that, you know, like some small town that only has, like, a rodeo.
Yeah.
But it's awesome because last time, the first time I was there I was doing front of house mixing for Into Eternity.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, and that was crazy. And I saw Tim from Ninja Spy walking through the crowd.
Right.
You know, and I had no idea who was on any of the bills. They just contracted me a month before.
Yeah.
Right, and they're like, "You want to come out this summer?" And as it turned out, I literally wasn't doing another album for 30 days, so I was just like, yeah, let's do it. And I went to Armstrong, and we pulled in, and right away you just see all these tents and everything.
By the stables.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the stables are is where the bands sleep, and then there's the big track, and that's where everybody, the main camping is.
Yeah, and I saw one of the guys from Ninja Spy walking by. I was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing here? And he's just like, no, what are you doing? You know, and then, I found out all these killer bands were on the bill, and then we went inside to check out the stage, and it was just, dude, it's a great festival.
Oh, yeah.
And that town rules, too.
Yeah, because they do it in Armstrong's version of the Saddle Dome.
Yeah.
which is like a hockey arena.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, last year when fucking... Oh, man. Were you there last year?
Last year, no. I was in the middle of a project. I couldn't get out.
It was so fucked. Like, okay, so picture that the last third of this hockey arena is where the stage is. And I'm in the guy's pisser that's like at the end of the hockey arena.
Yeah,
like
I know
on the
the
north end or whatever. And I'm taking a leak, and West of Hell was on stage.
Yeah.
And I hear this like bang that was like so concussive. I thought like some ninja or football player was trying to kick down this door. Like I was like, what the fuck was that? And then I go outside, or I go back into the venue. Like, you know, you're pissing and then something like you're like,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like it's like I might have blown a valve there.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Little shartsicle.
I go back into the venue, and they had lit off these like right on the last note. They lit off these crazy, because Val's was his name Val, or it's not Val? Chris, I believe.
Ted?
The Heathen, Lord Heathen.
Lord Heathen.
Yeah, Ted. No, he's like a special effects guy, and he lit off these crazy like pyro things, but he like didn't do the right calculations, and he got double the height. So it had gone into the ceiling, and it was like lighting the fucking ceiling on fire.
Holy
man.
shit.
It was like a little bit. It was just like crinkling, and everybody was kind of looking
So
at it
everyone's
like,
hanging out and they're stuck in a
"Whoa."
bank heist all of a sudden.
Yeah, it was like, well, good thing that's not really on fire. You know, it was,
That's like Mexican joints. I was in one in Banff earlier today, and every Mexican joint I've ever been in, like, that serves great Mexican food and like good margaritas, they've all had a fire at one point. Like every single one of them has been on fire, and it's just like, and it's like, no kidding, your ceilings are like 9 feet tall at best, and there's a ton of shit hanging off the roof and peanuts all over the floor. Like it's kindling on the floor. Yeah, you're gonna have a fire.
Yeah, it was funny at Armstrong. I was like, wow, you can tell that stuff's really fire retardant. Like, they put fire retardant stuff in the ceiling.
For when all that bull semen shoots across the ceiling in the rodeos.
So, yeah, go to Armstrong, and also go to Loud as Hell. What's the dates of that, Nancy?
August long weekend, July 31st to August 3rd.
Okay. Cool.
Is it August 3rd? Or is
August
it
long weekend, is that what you
August
said?
long weekend, yeah.
August, yeah.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah, okay, so now the podcast has started. Commercials are over.
Okay.
So you're Luke, you're in Planet Eater, among
Correct,
other
among
things.
them.
We'll talk here for 2 hours about all the other rad stuff
Sounds
you do
great.
too. But you're in Planet Eater, and you guys are playing both those festivals, right?
Yeah. Not being the guy who lines up the shows, and being self-employed as a producer, I just say yes to everything. And then
make it work.
Well, yeah, because I mean, most of the time, Troy Bly does all the bookings, like he's our bass player.
Is that how you say it? You don't say blech.
No, well,
I've wondered that
funny?
too.
You know what's funny is I've been playing with Troy for years and years and years, and toured with Into Eternity, and
Yeah, he's also the bass player for Into Eternity,
Yeah.
for those that don't know.
and we on our first Dirtbread record, he spelt his own last name wrong. Like he spelt it, yeah. It's Bleich, and he spelt it IE, right?
Oh.
And it's just like because he was rushing to finish the credits like so
Oh,
fast,
yeah.
right? But the way because he always checks his microphone like this, so this is how you remember how to spell his name. You go Bleich, right?
I'll never forget that now.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look, check it out, Bleich.
I want to send him a check now.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to write that down and do that. So, and then you guys are also playing on the Sunday. I got you guys and Vale of Panath. They probably don't
Yeah.
say it like that either, do they?
I think so.
I've heard
Is it a silent P?
I've
I
been
don't
in
know.
Calgary
Vale
for
of Death.
25 minutes, and I've already heard 5 different versions of how it's pronounced.
Oh, I know. Well, that's why I started a band called Kayaktus, because
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Kyotos and
Curtis was telling me at
Kayakti.
Dickens that it's like a fancy word for a foreskin. Vale
What?
Vale of Panath?
Really?
No.
Okay. Fuck, I'm so gullible.
rude.
God damn it. I'm ridiculous. That's funny, though.
Yeah, 9/11 was an inside job.
Yeah, so that's a Distortion, right? Or
That's
no?
at
That's a
Dickens.
That's a Dickens.
with
Fuck.
Day One.
With Day One, yeah, the return of Day One.
Thanks for that show, by the way. Like,
Oh,
we
fuck, no
really
problem.
needed to pick up some shows on the way back, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, like,
I don't like doing shows, honestly. Like, when it comes down to just a show,
yeah.
like, unless it's you guys. Like, if it's like
Or
you
somebody
guys.
else
or-
that you
well,
also like.
Well, yeah. But
Someone on
that's very
tour.
few. I mean,
Yeah.
Vela Panath is from Colorado, so it was like, well,
Yeah, that's-
they asked me to do it, for a pickup gig for them too.
Yeah.
There's also a big name production that Thursday with Out of the Runes, Leica, and
Vesperia.
from Montreal, who just won the Wacken battle.
Yes.
They did
I
win.
think they're
They
from,
won it.
I think
Yeah,
they're from Toronto.
they're from they're from Toronto.
Yeah.
Fuck. God damn it.
You know what?
I can't keep all this shit straight, people. And don't expect me to. Fuck. And don't ask me who's playing. I don't know.
Ask me.
Yeah, ask Nancy. There you go. If you want a fucking answer, ask Nancy. She's my CIO.
I've loved metal for so long, and I just really don't understand fucking names. I just don't get it.
Well, see, that's where, let's talk about we'll come back to Planet Eater, but
Yeah.
we're both producers.
Yeah.
And, like, when you're doing technical shit all the time, like,
Yeah.
that people don't do, it's
Yeah.
hard to pay attention to, I won't say simple, but more general stuff.
Yeah.
Like even, it's like, I'm the sound guy at a gig, so it's like, when's this guy going on? Fuck, I don't know. After this guy, or after their third, I think.
Well,
there you go. That's all I'm gonna get
not
out
only
of it.
that, but like what bands call themselves. And I'm not saying like my band names have been fucking brilliant by any stretch,
Right.
but at least you can spell them. You know what I mean? Like, god damn it, the music is inaccessible enough as it is to
Yeah,
the general public, and
for
then
sure.
you're gonna throw something in. It's like, oh, I want to make this T-shirt that looks like we wrote it in the sandbox with a twig, but there's vines growing out of it. Like, I don't fucking know what your band name is. I don't know. Like, just spell it out on a goddamn T-shirt. Why do I have to? Like, if you can't read it, you're not metal enough. Really? Am I not metal enough? You fucking never played in a band before, black metal elitist asshole. Fuck.
You know what? There's a lot of elitists,
Yeah.
though. There's a lot of elitists. There's elitists in every fucking subgenre.
That's true. 'cause
It's super annoying. Fuck.
I shit on tons of music.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah, even music that I
that's
like.
why I do on the podcast. I was joking. No, but yeah, it's.
all I'm
the
sa-
black metal kids aren't the only ones. Is the one
No.
I've found.
No, but all I'm
Lately.
saying is like, don't put saw blades in the background. Don't. There should never be a fucking X in your name. That letter should never be used again. The letter X in
a
music
band name.
is the
Yeah.
worst. Never do that again. It's
like
been
it.
done before. Bring it back like in another 15 years when you run out of other shit to plagiarize and revisit, But like, I hate that shit. I hate that shit. And it's like you can't tell what the fuck is going on. Like, the only reason I liked Pantera's reinventing the steel logo was because I really liked Pantera.
Right.
If I was a grown up and like I'd never really been exposed to them, I'd been like, that's fucking stupid. It's like, check it out, there's rivets in this metal.
Or if you were born in 1993,
Yeah,
you'd be
exactly.
like, "This is fucking stupid."
Well, then I'd be wearing low-cut shoes with no socks and like a deep V T-shirt. Looking at my life through Instagram.
dude, I wish.
I'm on Instagram, by the way. You can go to Luke_Hart.
Yeah, that's your only social media, really.
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
you're not on
because-
Facebook.
No,
you're not on.
because the thing I like about it is that I just like, it's me, and then I send it out to the world, and then I don't have to interact at all. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm sure people can personal message you and shit, but I don't do that. I just
Instagram's like, I put this picture
yeah, it's
up.
like, here's a picture, and then that's what I'm doing, and I don't care,
Yeah.
And then I pretend that I don't care, and then I go secretly check back how many likes I got, and if anybody is commenting about how cool they think I am, because I'm insecure.
Have you guys I don't know if I've mentioned this, that you are from, what are we? 14 and a half minutes in, and I haven't mentioned that you're from Saskatchewan.
Oh yeah,
So,
Yeah.
you're
no,
from-
you could have not.
Saskatchewan's cool.
So you guys are from Regina,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
cool.
right.
And so Planet Eater Sask.
Yeah, it's
You look at Google it, bitch.
Planet Eater SK.
Okay,
Yeah, and that'll all come up. Actually, I think we're starting to take over the Google searches a little bit with the just straight Planet Eater.
Cool.
Or at least it's just my computer remembering it.
No, that's part of the podcast. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Crown Royal and Diet Coke because I like Diet Coke. I don't care. Everybody's all like, how's your aspartame? And it's pronounced aspartame to me, anyways. Fucking, I don't care. I like the taste of it, okay? I don't care if it's like not regular Coke. Devin Ubell, my guitar player, you can suck it in your regular Coke, and Devin, your Pepsi, can fuck off too.
This is going to be a purely Saskatchewan cast.
Yeah.
Can we have some Vico?
I don't know what that is. What is that?
Chocolate milk.
Is Saskatchewan chocolate milk called Vico?
That's what it's called.
They put Vicodin in it?
I hope so. Maybe that's why so many people end up staying.
Maybe that's why they don't change time.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, exactly. No, man, we're good. It's good.
No, that's just one of those things.
I had this buddy that I grew up with, and he used to go play basketball tournaments down in the States and shit like that.
Yeah.
And he would just make up his own ridiculous, what do you call it? Help me out here, Nate.
Ridiculous.
Stereotypes.
Oh, stereotypes. Okay.
You can edit that back and make me look like less of a bumbling fool.
Not anymore.
Drop a marker right there. Drop a marker.
No.
Anyways,
there's no editing in these.
All right. Oh, shit. I better choose my words carefully. But he used to go down to the States, and he would, like, I don't know where this whole fucking bagged milk thing came from. Is it an
Quebec, dude?
Is it an East thing?
Yes.
See, like they're so responsible for so many preconceived notions. Like that whole boot thing is like strictly a Northern Ontario.
So the Americans would bug him about bagged milk?
No.
Oh.
Like, he would go down there. Like some of them have heard of bagged milk, but he would go to these kiosks in between games and go, "Hey, can I get like 2 liters of goat milk?" And they're like, "No, well, obviously we don't have goat milk." He's like, "Okay, but you got to have moose milk, like 2 liters of moose milk." There's moose milk, what the fuck? No. Right? And he's going, and they're going, "No," and he's just like, "You don't have moose milk," and he would pitch a fit to the point where like people would come intervene between him and the kids.
Well, I better watch. You might get shot in the States doing that now.
Yeah, totally. At like a college basketball game.
Yeah, Canadian gets shot over moose milk.
Yeah. Furious about no bagged milk.
Yeah.
God, what he deserved, him and his fucking health care.
I moved to Quebec when I was 14, and that was the biggest thing that weirded me out. Like, I could handle the French. I could handle the separatism. I could handle the angry old separatists. That was no problem.
Yeah.
But milk in a bag? And then you, like, cut the corner? And it goes in a thing? I mean, after a while, you're like, well, that kind of makes sense, because you don't have to have these big jugs. And it's like less
impossible
waste.
to open arrow. There's got to be a better way. Introducing new stab hole for your milk container.
No
you
doubt.
fucking
We should
idiot.
do that.
You can't open a cardboard box.
Let's do it.
Yourself.
I went in.
Walk into traffic with a blindfold on if you can't open a milk jug.
The Quebec cow nipple. It's just this thing you like put the bag of milk into, and it's just like ka-chunk. And you just slap the top on it, just starts spinning it. You hit a button, it's got a battery.
At what year in your life does it become inappropriate to like take the nipple off of the milk cup? You know what I mean?
2?
But why? Why can't we just keep that? As if you wouldn't just like to suck on a titty all day long.
Fuck, did you get cut off too early? Is that what happened? Is that what happened to you, Luc Hart? Holy fuck, I didn't think we were going to get deep like this.
I don't know, a titty would be pretty cool.
This is
just like I would suck this drink out of a rubber tit right now with no hesitation.
It sounds like you want to knock.
No, I don't.
Yeah, there's some in the house.
Yeah,
No, he just
sippy cups too.
Well, that's okay.
he just wants to knock his girlfriend up. That's what he wants.
No.
Because see, then
Yes,
you get to
no.
yes.
Oh.
I can get past that goalie. The
No,
old
I'll do that. I'll
switcheroo.
do that on purpose. I'm not one of these laying there. The close your eyes while you're driving guys and hope you don't hit a parked car on the side of the road. Oh, I don't know.
That's how we were all born.
Yeah, I know. No, that's how Donnie had his
conceived.
kid. He covered his eyes and then slammed on the gas and then was surprised when he hit a parked car. That kid's awesome, by the way. I just hung out with
I don't
him.
know what any of that meant.
I
but-
don't mean to trash Donnie's kid, because he's a great kid. I love that kid.
Yeah, and Donnie's a rad dude, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost impossible.
I was just hanging out with him in Lake Louise. He was coming through on a family vacation.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, all these, like,
Nice.
crossings of paths. It's awesome.
Well, he went out to Vancouver. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the Calgary MetalFest, right? And we would have loved to
yeah,
come
like 5
play.
months ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
No, it's all good. I understand. I'm
The
not
issue-
butthurt about it. Fuck.
I know.
No, sorry. No,
But-
next year.
we really wanted to play, but our singer hadn't spent his birthday with his woman, and like the whole time he's known her,
Right.
because we keep coming out to do the Calgary Metal Fest, right?
Yeah, oh, she has
Anyway.
the same birthday as me. Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. The exact same birthday. And so I mean, we couldn't do it, but like we really wanted to. And he took his kid and his niece and his sister and his mom and his chick. They went all across country, and we ran into him in Lake Louise. And it was interesting. He's like, let's load up with some beers before we go see the tourist stuff. And then so we pile a bunch of beer cans into our pockets, and then we get to the lake at Lake Louise, and he's going, shit, I didn't know there'd be so many tourists here. Really? At the tourist spot you didn't? You know? And he's like, well, where the hell are we going to drink these? So we go just off the side, like behind a giant family of Asians taking pictures, and do the old like 15-year-old crack the beer in the sleeve of your hoodie, and then look like for some reason you have to tilt your head back and sniff the inside of your shirt every 10 seconds. So it was pretty fun.
I want to talk about your old band, Agonal, for a minute.
Sure.
Remember when Agonal played MetalFest 2?
Yeah.
I don't think I've told this story on the podcast yet, and I should, because, well, maybe I have. But to tell it with somebody who was
Yes.
there.
I will.
would-
I will.
would
I bet
explain
you
who-
could fill me in on
Sure.
stuff that happened that night, maybe the next day. That would be hilarious. So, and that's what we're doing here, telling hilarious fucking stories.
This is
about shit.
this is one of my favorite experiences I've ever had. So
okay,
let's do it.
but hold on. First, we should explain that we met through like my old band Kill You Kai touring.
Yeah.
And we became good friends. Then that was like 2008. And then Kayakta started in 2011. You always put us up, and it's super fucking awesome. And you guys play with us and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
So just so people know, a little bit of background. But this was MetalFest 2. So this was 2013. It was a super ridiculous MetalFest because Skeleton Witch played, and it was sold out.
And you had
It was-
Jason Rouse hosting.
Yeah, Jason Rouse was it was just a fucking crazy
And in my
podcast 15 if you want to listen to that.
was he
one.
on it?
Yeah, man.
Oh, nice.
Dude, you gotta listen to that one. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, fuck,
man.
yeah.
I just recorded his comedy album. Quick aside.
Really?
Yeah, he did 3 nights at Yuck Yucks in April. And
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I recorded.
I
it.
love that guy.
Fuck, dude, he's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Am I mistaken, or was he there? He wasn't there the night before we got there, was he?
He was there all week.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, dude, he did an hour on Thursday at Dickens.
Oh, awesome.
And you should have, dude. I was bent over. It was all material I'd never heard. It was like,
Yeah.
fuck. He was practicing for a special. It was crazy.
Well, that guy set us up awesome for our performance that night. Like,
yeah, cool.
yeah. He, it was like it was kind of, it was an easy go-to.
Agonal.
Yeah,
Agonal.
But like it was an easy go-to. But I mean, like, what are you gonna do? You never met these guys. You don't know them for a hole in the ground.
Right.
And he gets up on stage. He's like, "Yeah, I heard this band likes to fucking party a lot." Da 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 da. And then he goes, but like whenever I'm feeling too hungover the next day and want to keep going, I always take an Agonal the next morning and shit. And it's like one of those cheesy jokes, but because he's a professional and he knows what he's doing, it went over really well,
Yeah,
right? And it was a
totally.
great intro for us.
So, did you guys play on the Friday or the Saturday that year? Can you remember?
The Friday.
Like Calgary MetalFest
Yeah.
2. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I did. Yeah,
Because some of us stayed.
Yeah,
the Saturday.
okay,
I missed
so-
a friend's wedding to stay the next day.
Now we'll get into the story. So
Okay.
fucking Friday night. That was my birthday that night. DOP played.
Oh, yeah.
Disciples of Power. I was drunker than I've ever been when I shouldn't have been. I'll just say that right now. Like running a festival But I just got caught up in the moment.
Hey,
I got
man,
too fucking hammered.
I had zero hiccups at that night. So, like...
Well, I had zero hiccups as far
my-
as all that went, but except for a couple little other things.
Well, yeah, but I had
all that shit
a
doesn't matter,
great
though.
time, man.
I had a great time, too. It cost me a lot of money, but it doesn't matter. That's just for my own stupidity.
Thank you, Nate.
Yeah. So I had this after party planned on the Friday for my birthday that was supposed to be super awesome. We were all going to go to this place and party. And then, of course, at the last minute, Buddy's like, oh, no, I couldn't hook it up. Like, what? What do you mean you couldn't hook it up? What the fuck? So
See,
then,
that's what you get for talking to the friend of the guy who's having a party. You need to have
Pretty much.
You need to have
That's
a
pretty
direct
much what I
line
did.
to the guy who owns the house and says yes or no.
Yeah, I know. He was trying to sell me. I don't know. Yeah, I'm retarded. So fucking, I'm like, well, I'm going to party right now. So at the bar, I say, like, hey, like, I didn't invite the whole bar, but I didn't think I invited as many people as I did.
Oh, you're not even going to talk about the show? You're just talking about the party?
I'm talking about after.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Show.
man. I got to, like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I got to tell you about the show, dude. This is
Okay, fair enough.
This is one of my
Do it.
favorite things that we ever did. Actually, I think that was Agonal's last show ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was wondering, because,
Yeah, well-
that sounds about right, yeah.
Like, when that whole experience was fucking incredible, because we showed up and everything was so pro, and you had guys like ready to help out and stuff like that, and we had just come off of like these 4 kind of halfway gigs, you know, that we were like, you know, where you don't really plan out and you just kind of take last minute.
Yeah.
And it was really tough because you know, Aaron was planning his wedding and shit, and like getting his house in order.
Who's Aaron?
Our old drummer.
Okay,
drummer
Agnell's
from
drummer.
yeah, Aaron Everly. And so he was planning out his wedding and everything. And Danny, I don't know if Danny was in Africa already or if he gotten back. Before.
I think he had gotten
Yeah,
back
he
just
came back.
before.
Yeah, that's right. So Danny had already been. Danny went to Africa for 6 months. Danny Kresniak, great.
One of the hardest fucking dudes walking the earth.
Yeah,
right now.
that guy's my brother in Greasy. We've done some terrible things, me and him. Stuff that I won't even mention on an uncensored podcast. But so he
Whoa. Not too hard for the internet.
yeah, no, too hard for the internet. Too hard for the rest of my life because there's recorded evidence of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So
This is Canada.
he was working out in Ontario doing like journalism for human rights.
Yeah,
you know.
and still is.
No, he's in Vancouver now.
No, well, but I mean, he's
Oh, yeah,
still like
still-
the journalism
oh,
is
yeah.
hard as fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, the-
Well, he got I won't go into too much detail because it's his career and not my place to say, but you know, he stood up to his bosses, and then that's how he got his gig with Adbusters.
excuse me. Yeah, just recently, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So
last 3-4
anyways,
months.
so Aaron goes through this whole wedding thing, and like we're wondering where it's going to go with shows and stuff like that. We'd gotten rid of the second guitar player, Mitch, about a year prior. As soon as we released the disc, he agreed to do a couple of the big CD release shows, and then you know he got a big job opportunity in a different city. You know,
yeah,
today's
life.
Yeah, life gets in.
Yeah.
Life finds a way.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
It happens.
yeah. So, anyways, Mitch left, and we were still doing a lot of stuff, and I was doing the bulk of the writing, and then towards the end, Danny started writing a lot more, and we started opening up, and we came out to do this MetalFest, and we were super excited to do it, but like most MetalFests, you know, if they've only been around for a year or two, you can be a little bit concerned, even though you're running the thing.
Yeah.
You never know how it's going to turn out. Like if you're going to
We'll see how this mongoloid does.
yeah, it will end up on a stage that feels like it could fall apart any second,
Right,
with like
right.
some kids painting in the background, like you know, it's
Classic Canadian.
yeah, exactly.
That's how it
so
rolls
we
in a
get
metal
there
band
and
in
like
Canada.
everything's super organized, and there's all these killer bands. So we get downstairs and
At Dickens Pub.
yeah, Dickens Pub, and you had set up like one of my favorite lineups of all time. It was
it was the bro show from hell.
Yeah.
Dude.
We crossed.
It was awesome.
What was it? It was
Ninja Spy, Sparky.
No. Ninja Spy. Yeah, Ninja Spy. Then Lavagoat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
then us.
Oh. Wow.
And then Sparky, and then
like
Endost.
Leviathan. Oh, Endost.
Yeah. And so we crossed that
wow.
whole section out on the timesheet and just wrote bro down beside it.
Yeah. That was
like,
the bro down
those are
show.
all buddy bands, right?
Thank you for bringing this up because it really does
That was your birthday
give
night,
credence to why that all happened.
All those
you know?
all those bands were really good friends with each other, right?
Yeah.
And Ninja Spy came out and killed, of course.
Yeah.
And we were worried about, just like any performer does, worried about like following an act, right?
Of course, yeah.
But Lavago played after Ninja Spy, so they like brought the energy down a little. Those guys are heavy as fuck, but
They're like doomy.
Yeah, they're doomy.
Yeah.
So, because Ninja Spy is way more athletic than us drunk Agonal dudes. So, the amount of effort they're putting into their stage show, we're like, shit, like we got to follow this. And then Lavago brought the energy down just enough so that we could surprise him again.
Yeah, totally.
And then so
I'm just trying to fuck with people's heads at MetalFest.
Yeah, I'm looking for my gear. This thing was so well organized. I'm looking for my gear, and I can't find it. And I'm like, shit! Like, what happened to all my stuff? And your guys running the stage were like, it's all ready to go, man. You plugged in. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. And then
man,
Jason,
I gotta give it up to the MetalFest crew, man.
Oh yeah,
always hard
unbelievable,
Yes,
dude.
bravo.
And I said to the guy, like 2 minutes to stage time, I go, hey, I'm only one guitar player, but I want to come out stereo on stage, cuz loud me, and he goes, okay, you got a really long patch cable? I go, no. And he just goes, I'll make it happen, man. And then he walks over to me.
I remember that.
30 seconds later, he's like, you're all ready to go.
I remember that. I had that fucking cable in my bag.
Thank you.
I was like, I know that's gonna happen at some point.
I was like, I want to make my guitar on all sides. I don't care.
I need a 30-foot speaker cable.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I know at some point it's always that 30-foot speaker cable.
Yeah,
big thick one too. You know, like a fucking good one.
Yeah. And then so
boom, done.
So Jason Rouse does this killer intro for us, and anytime you have like a comedian setting up like 5 minutes of a bit. Yeah. And then introducing a band, it makes people like pay attention a little bit more than if you just start cold, right? So we go up on stage, we start playing, it's great, and you have that little space between the stage and the cage in the front.
Oh, there was a cage?
Yeah, there was a cage, and
cool.
I kept jumping onto the cage and standing, and the cage is only like maybe 6 inches wide, right?
Yeah.
So I'm balancing on the cage, and then. This is the funny thing. I always go for ambitious moves on stage, but then getting off, I look like such a nerd because I'm doing like you can see me look over the shoulder and look back and be like, is it safe? Am I going to roll my ankle? Am I going to look like a fat tub just bouncing around? So we're playing, and we've figured out that we're starting to go over time. And normally I would never do something like that, like just deliberately go over time on stage. Yeah. But I had a feeling that this might be our last show ever, right? And I felt that it merited telling what the guys went through in the band to play this show. And I said it on stage, and I remember talking to people after. I was like, I know we're over time and we got one more song left. I want to tell you guys about the show. And I pointed at Danny and I said, this motherfucker flew on his own personal dollar here from Ontario on a small shitty plane, like on his own buck, just to get here to play for you today, and he's here today. And then I said about Aaron, our drummer, who had been horribly burned in an arc flash like 9 months prior, and his skin grafts had just like fully taken on his arms and shit. So he looks he looks totally fine, right? But he's
in pain.
He had
nerves aren't working.
Massive 3rd-degree burns, right? Like all over his arm. This guy's so hard, he fucking burnt his whole forearms from blocking his face from the arc flash, right? Like you're talking, he still has vaporized copper in his skin, like black spots from because he got so hot it vaporized the copper, right? So I say, and this is our drummer Aaron, who just had suffered massive 3rd-degree burns and was in the hospital. This guy peeled his own skin off his arm while he was waiting for the medics to come. He took a big slab off his arm, and they took it off his legs. And I go, "This is my drummer Aaron, and he just fucking recovered fully from 3rd-degree burns to be here for you today." And then I say, and I just found out like an hour before I went on stage that our longtime family dog died right before I went on stage. Like, my dad sent me a text. He's like, "It's done. He's gone." And I was like, "Motherfucker, really?"
Old Yeller too?
Yeah, exactly. And he's a golden retriever. Anyways,
Fuck, you guys are real uppers.
and then I closed it by saying about Donnie, and I was like, "And in 2 months from now, this motherfucker's gonna have Agonal's first son, right? Because Donnie's lady was due any moment." Right.
Fuck, wow.
So
man.
and I was
Stars
like, I was like, what a pleasure to share it with you guys. And my dog's name was Guinness, right? And so I said, so I'm gonna have a pint of Guinness with you guys here tonight in honor of the dog, right?
Cool.
And so I start chugging it, and everybody knows we're short on time, so Aaron starts counting it in as I'm slamming a pint of Guinness. And I'm just like, fuck, I have just enough time to finish. I'm not gonna like leave some of the beer in it. I'm definitely not gonna, but I got just enough time to finish it, and then I gotta dump it and play guitar right away. And I look over, and your fucking Calgary MetalFest crew, there's 2 guys sitting there with like the bat catcher's mitt hands going like, "We got you. Like, we got you." And I finished it, and I just hucked it to the left and started into the song right away. And I played maybe 4 notes, and I look over, and the guys come down with the pint, you know, and I had to turn away from the crowd because I didn't want them to see how giddy I was that it worked so well, you know, just like, "Here we go," and whew, bang, and like I had to turn away so the crowd couldn't tell that I was just like, "Wee, I'm in a rock and roll band."
Fucking ninja shit.
Yeah.
Eh?
And then we ended up, we'll go back to the party Friday night, but like we ended up staying all weekend. Like I canceled.
I know. That's, well, okay. So that, and then the rest of the bro show happened. Oh, I wanted to say, and kill it, you fucking guys did. Like, holy fuck, man. You guys destroyed the whole fucking time. And then guess what? Nobody gave a fuck. Because it's Calgary.
Yeah.
And they don't know you from a hole in the ground. And I think that's just funny. That's just, like, that's where I'm like, this is why I do Calgary MetalFest. Because people are asleep at the wheel.
Yeah,
and
totally.
It's funny.
Yeah, totally. You know what?
Like, I've never heard of that band. They're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah.
they didn't get on a festival for no reason.
Yeah, well, you didn't.
Like-
Sorry, did you not just have a good time?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
not
totally.
entertained?
Yeah, like,
I almost saw the soundboard take a dive during that fucking show.
Like,
Yeah, it was great.
fucking
That
right.
pub's the greatest, though. That Dickens, I love playing there, man.
yeah, man. It's I wish it was like 5 feet longer, but
Oh, yeah,
aside from
towards the crowd,
it's-
but you
aside
know
from
what?
that, it's
You know what?
like, I love that place.
That forces
I mean,
people to get
I
closer
still
to the
love it,
stage.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah,
Because-
there's a natural compression happening
Yeah,
with
because a
people.
lot of those venues have the big, wide open audience space.
Yeah,
And it's hard to get rid of that semicircle in front of the stage where people won't go unless they're moshing. And if
Yeah,
like even
yeah.
if 4 like 15-year-old drunk kids mosh for like one song, you can't, like, people won't venture out into that like semicircle unless like the venue's like designed to squish people in.
yeah.
Like, I hate that. Like, we played a Soulfly show one time at the university, and people wouldn't
Who?
This was
Agonal?
No, this was Planet Eater.
Planet Eater.
I played
Cool.
open for him once in Dirtbread, and then another.
You mean we?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Anyways. Well, fuck, they're not here.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta talk about fucking dudes that ain't here for it.
Yeah.
Why don't you do a podcast then? Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I remember one time, it might have been Cannibal Corpse. I can't remember. It was either Cannibal Corpse or Soulfly, but it was at the same venue. And these people refused to move to the front of the stage. And I had played way early in the evening, so I'd
Where again? Sorry.
at the Riddell Center at the university in Regina.
Oh wow.
So
that's
I-
like 1,000-person venue,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
So I had gotten frustrated by nobody going up to the front. So maybe tequila had something to do with it. But
Yeah.
I grabbed, you know, those really long plastic tables that they have in cafeterias.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I grabbed one from the back and laid it out, and I got behind it and pushed it like a sled and herded like, you know, the entire midsection of the audience up to the front of the stage.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, fuck. I mean, go enjoy the show already.
Yeah,
What are you
yeah.
doing?
I'm putting a barrier here,
Yeah,
so you
like-
can't be lame with
Yeah,
the back.
exactly. Well, like I'm old and go to those shows all the time, and my joints hurt. So what's your excuse? Actually, not that old. Troy's old.
Well, I gotta have a leak, so let's play an Agonal song.
Okay. Donnie would want me to play Double Space and Lime, so I'm
Oh,
not
real
going
quick,
to.
so like Donnie was in Agonal.
Yeah, and
He was-
Dirtbread.
Oh,
I
wow.
haven't let... I joined Dirtbread when I was 18 years old, and I haven't let Donnie out of my sights ever since.
Cool.
Just before we go into break,
Yeah.
that fucking dude, when you take him into a studio...
Hold on. Continue. Sorry.
When you take that guy into a studio to record, you know how a lot of vocalists need to do a lot of warm-up and stuff like that?
Right.
Like,
He's one take. He's Lemmy.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like he's the kind of guy that his warm up is when you're checking levels on the preamps and shit, because he overloads mics and preamps like crazy, and I've got all
Good.
kinds of clips of it, and he's just, you know, he's just, "Rah!" And I'm like, you
I
gotta,
remember
and I'm like, you
the
gotta,
outtakes.
it's like a little bit too much, and he's like, what is it? I'm like, it's not even the preamp overloading, it's the microphone. And he's like, fucking pussy microphone. It's brutal, my fair brutal. Like, and like the guy's hungover, hasn't showered in 2.5, 3 days, right? And we're in the studio, and he's looking all like, oh, I just woke up, fucking. And we're like, dude, like, you know, we're in the studio here. Like, could you take it seriously? And he's like, shut up. And then you hit record, and it's just like fucking unleash hell right away. No problem, no warm up necessary. That guy has a 1 in, like, I would say 80 million type of sound.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
just-
and that's why you stick to him, right?
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
fuck, man, wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
even when Dirtbread was broken up until we made Agonal, I would call him on a daily basis and tell him about the riffs I was still writing. I never let that guy out of my sight. dude.
Nice, yeah. Well, and you come at him with art. I mean, what's
Yeah.
he going to say, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So I want to talk about the story we were going to the after party.
Okay, well, let's go
That we
to
were
break
gonna
and
talk
take a
about,
piss.
and then I
we'll-
want to talk about your production
Okay.
and shit. So stick around, motherfuckers.
I'm not going anywhere.
This
There's
is
plenty
this
of
is
whiskey.
getting hard in Nate's backyard at its best.
The,
So what fucking song are we playing?
An Agonal song, hey? Let's do Generation of Martyrs.
All right. See you in a minute.
Synthetic, we are
Oh, shit. That was the old Agonal.
Yeah. I missed that shit.
Generation of Martyrs. Fuck, man. That was awesome.
You know how many times...
That's what you missed at MetalFest too, bitches.
Yeah. You know how many times me and Donnie went in the studio to go lay down tracks for that record? And because I was working at a studio that I won't say out loud because I'm about to tell the story about how I exploited time. But we would go in there on like Saturdays, nobody would be in there. We'd hang out for hours and not get anything done. Like we'd write down like a couple lyrics and then order a pizza. And then, well, there's no point in singing before we eat because we got to eat first, right? You know, and then like it's just me and Donnie and like end up watching TV like for 45 minutes till the pizza gets out to the industrial area.
Oh shit! They're
and
going into Syria.
Yeah, and then yeah, exactly. Oh, actually, yeah, we were trying to get inspired because the song is "Generation of Martyrs," right?
Watching
you know, it's yeah, exactly. Oh man, this again? Shit!
Yeah, fuck, man, we gotta figure this shit out.
Desert Storm 2, bro. Yeah. Anyways, so and then I remember on more than one occasion we just kind of put the rest of the beer in the box and said, let's go home and get drunk. And then, like, didn't even lay down vocals at all.
Nice.
Not even once. That's probably why it took over a year to finish the entire record. But
well, it turned out great, man. Fucking
thank
nice
you.
Work.
Thank
nice
you.
Work.
You were the first person to compliment me on that record,
Oh,
actually.
wow. Well,
yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, okay, we were at...
Oh, yeah, Friday
Agonal
night.
Destroyed, and
Yeah.
then DOP headlined, and they ruled.
Yeah.
And that whole night was awesome. It was the Bro Down. And then I had this after party lined up, and it fell through at the last minute. And I had rented because the venues were kind of far, I had rented like a 15-passenger van to shuttle people.
Kidnap children. Oh, shuttle people, yeah.
In between Dickens Pub and Broken City.
Yeah.
And basically nobody took it,
which
is hilarious.
I was at
I was like,
Broken
wow,
City
that was
once with a 7-inch
$500.
knife on my hip. Anyways, another time. Go on.
So, show's over. I'm like, well, I'll just have a couple people over at my house. We'll have a little fire. No big deal. And then, so I got the 15-passenger van with 15 people in it. And then I look behind me, and at first there was like 2 carloads, but then there was like 5 or 6 carloads. And then all of a sudden we go in my backyard and we light the fire up. We get the fire going. I'm like, we got a fire. Light that barbecue up. Fuck, we're all hungry. You start fucking getting... Big James was there.
Yeah.
And
I was like,
dude, I was like, man, can you barbecue? Because I need to get this fire going. And
can
shit
Big
is going
James
on.
barbecue?
Yeah, he's like, oh, fuck, no problem, bro. No problem.
Yeah.
And then, so
She
we
don't get size whatever the fuck waistband by not being able to barbecue some meat, man.
Oh, well, whatever. But
Don't
Yeah,
be
but-
soft. I'm not ripping on him.
well, no, I know, but it's not because he ate 10 billion fucking hamburgers.
I'm just saying he
he's a
might
good
be more
barbecue.
qualified than most.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, I'll agree with you on that.
I love
So
you, Big
that's why
James.
I
I'm
asked
talking
him.
into your mic right
That's
now.
why I
love
asked him. No, we're going to do half an hour about Big James after this. But
Okay.
so Big James is barbecuing, and we got the fire going, but there's like 60 fucking people in my backyard all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And we're really loud, and this was kind of unannounced. And I have a kid, but my kid was staying. The only reason this happened is because I knew my kid was being babysat somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like if I would have had my kid here, who was 6 months old at the time.
You probably still would have made the same decision.
Well, we could debate.
Wait a minute,
the
your wife's
chances
here.
of that.
No, I mean, like, definitely not.
No, she wasn't there. You know, like I wouldn't invite 60 people in my backyard if my daughter was in my house.
Obviously.
And so we're barbecuing, and then the party is rad. The party is rad. For like half an hour.
R fucking period, fucking A, fucking period, fucking D, fucking period, rad.
Yeah. And then my neighbor comes out because they didn't have an air conditioner at the time, so all their windows were open. And my neighbor comes out and he's like, "Hey!"
Oh shit! I remember
My
this.
fucking kid's trying to sleep, and the whole fucking all these people. Oh, I remember that all at once, every single one. Oh, like the exact same. It was like, Devin Townsend did this like get everybody to record themselves for the backups thing.
Yeah,
it's like you could have done that right there. I wish I had. Oh yeah. Would have been the best sample ever.
What about the burgers?
So then, it was like a bunch of people left, and we brought it inside, which was not good. Well, it wasn't bad, but anyways, we brought it inside because we had to, and then, so then I'm gonna continue to explain the rest of my night, but then other stuff happened that Luke will be able to explain here. So, okay, so the party happens, and then it comes inside, and it gets, like, awesomer, because crazier.
Yeah.
And then it goes away.
I got great pictures from that night, by the way.
It goes away, and then my next memory was me outside of my house talking to the police at, like, 5:30 in the morning. It was light out. And they were like...
Which you only got away with because you're a huge son of a bitch.
But these cops were super nice. They're like...
Of course they're super nice. You're a monster.
No, but they were like...
If this was, like, 500 years ago, you would be carrying, like, dual maces that needed to be dragged on the ground.
Right, because they were killing giants back then. Fortunately, there's a little bit of respect going on now. So these cops they saw what was going on, and they were awesome, and they're like, Nate, your neighbors are really fucking mad at you right now. Like, they literally, he said that.
Called you by first name?
Yeah, they knew my name, right? And I was like, how the fuck did they know Nate?
See, that's when you
like,
know you're
if they
good
knew
shit
Nathan,
right
blah blah blah.
Yeah,
like if they knew my legal name, that's one thing.
Yeah.
It was like. But they were like, Nate, your neighbors are really mad at you. And I'm like, I tried to do this whole, like, the droids are not looking, we're not the droids you're looking for thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, don't worry, man, it's MetalFest. Like, don't worry. And they're like, no, your neighbors are really fucking mad at you, Nate. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, like, everybody's
totally
gone
Jabba the
home.
Hutted you and was like, that's, your humanoid mind control bullshit will not work on me.
So... I'm like, well, everybody's gone home. And then
Did he turn to, like, is the rookie and be like he's playing a mind trick on you?
Oh, yeah, no doubt, eh? Like I'm going to win one over on them. But then the next day, when I saw you guys, and especially Danny, was the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. And I actually said that to him at the time. He goes... Danny Kreshniak, who we talked about earlier, he goes, hey, man, I got to talk to you for a second. I'm like, what's going on, man? He's like, no, well, I just want you to know, like, last night at the party, like, this is next day, Saturday, I'm fucking hungover as fuck.
Yeah, you're hungover.
I'm fucked. And we all are. We're everybody
downtown,
fucked.
Jesus Christ.
And so then... He's like, yeah, man, your neighbors were really rude to you, and I threw, like, fucking 20 cheeseburgers at their house.
I was wondering if you were going to get to that.
And I was like, that is the coolest thing that anybody has ever said to me in my life. Like, that's going to flash before my eyes when I die.
He hates this city so much. I don't know what it is, but he's got bad, like, I think the Calgary MetalFest was the only good memory that guy has of this entire city. Just, like, not because of the city. Yeah, he's just had bad luck. Like, one time we had a terrible show in Calgary, and we're leaving, and we're trying to get the fuck out of here. And we're walking around looking for some place to eat just before we leave. And Danny's already pissed off. He's way, way, way pissed off. I don't know what about. God knows how many fights we had when we were touring and stuff like that. But, like, so Danny's, like, he's beyond pissed, so nobody's talking to him. We're just going to let him burn it out on his own, right?
Yeah.
His issue is with Calgary, not with us. And he's at the crosswalk, and we finally see a breakfast place open. We're going to go get some breakfast, and then we're going to get the fuck out of Dodge. And just as he had started to calm down and stop doing his big, heavy nasal breathe thing, that when he's upset, he just stopped doing that. He's standing at the crosswalk. He's just calming down. And Donnie goes, "Looks like you're standing in the right spot." And somebody had written in the recently fresh cement faggot right across the crosswalk, and Danny's toes were standing right at the line. It just looks down, and it's just, and the city of Calgary has just called him a faggot. He looks past the tip of his cowboy boots, and he doesn't even care. He just goes, "Fuck this," and he just marches out into traffic like he doesn't even care. Like it's a busy street, and cars just, and he's just like, he's like, "I don't care if I get fucking hit. Fuck this place." But yeah, he when that guy came out and was like, "Shut the fuck up and keep it down."
Yeah, my kid's trying to sleep.
Yeah, my kid's trying to sleep, and everyone's, your poor kid. Yeah. So he goes back inside, and Big James had fried up I don't know how many goddamn burgers.
Well, I asked him to barbecue, and he did, man.
And he's just like, "I'm going to keep cooking until nobody asks for a burger anymore." Yeah. And he had he had a surplus, dare I say, of burgers. And Danny was just like, "This fucking guy, you know how much work Nate's put into this goddamn weekend?" And like, we're coming off one of the biggest highs of our life, playing that show. Like I said before the break, like we were on an all-time high.
Right, yeah.
All-time high. Like, and Danny was just like, he started grabbing fucking greasy cheeseburgers off of the grill and just slapping them against the side of your neighbor's wall. He's just
this is what I wanted to hear.
"I'll show you fucking," and like Big James is still cooking, and Danny's just, and it's like, it's almost like one of those,
throw some cheese on that. You got cheese?
Yeah, the cheese makes it stick. It's like one of those snowball fights when you're a kid and one guy's job is to make them and the other guy throws them. Except it was greasy old fucking burgers. But like,
that's fucking amazing.
We were.
Thank you guys. You're hard as fuck.
We were so blown away by how much fun we had at that show. Like I've never since or before. Maybe like when I first started playing, and like because I fell ass backwards into Dirt Bread, and they had already established a name locally. So when I started playing with them, like the shows are sold out immediately. And for a guy to get out of high school and be in his first real band, and there's people before, like everyone's texting each other and shit, and Facebook and all that stuff. Yeah. Like you had to
phones.
You had to go to the place. You had to go to the place where you thought the most people that you knew were going to be, right? So, like, people would be lined up around the block, and, like, I used to, like, have insane nervous spells then, but, like, that Calgary MetalFest, was it number 2, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, like, one of our all-time highs, man. At the end of the night, after all the partying and everything and all the stuff that I won't admit to legally,
you guys stayed at the Ramada, didn't you?
No, we stayed at like a Danny had a really nice place.
Because I remember the next day, you guys were telling me like, "Yeah, we've been up all night."
Yeah, well, Danny had like a really nice hotel room because he was flying back out to Ontario like the next day. Right? Because he flew in for the show and then flew out the next day.
That is so gangster.
On his own dime, just like, fucking, I'm doing this, right? And I love the guy for that.
Oh, but me too.
So he had his own hotel room. He's like, "I don't know where you guys are staying." But like, he had like gotten himself some pimp ass, like, $500 hotel room for one night. Yeah, exactly. Shit. And we just ended up showing up there at like 5 a.m. And we're hammering on the fucking, we're calling him, and he's like, "What?" And then he's got to kick some girl out of the room. He's like, "Turns out my whole band's going to come sleep up here now."
And she's like, "Yeah, I'm going home now."
And so we finally get the guy to let us in the lobby, and we get to the elevator, and we're like, "We can't use the elevator. We don't have the keys to the elevator." And he's like, "Okay, I'm coming down to get you." And the fucking door opens up, and there's Danny and all of his terrible midsection tattoos. Like, he's only in his tiny little underwear and nothing else. Like fucking naked except for tiny little, like, sport boxer shorts kind of things. And he's got a cigarette going in his mouth, and he's like, "Are you getting on or not?" We all pile into the elevator, and then that fucker went out and found some Polish moonshine that was like some insane 140 proof percent. It was like 92%. So he gets. Sorry, I'm fast tracking.
I want to hear this story.
Okay.
That's why I want to hear this side of the story.
Okay, this is the next day because
I'm running a festival right now. And these guys are doing this.
Yeah, we spent the whole night doing things that help you stay up for a long time.
Right. Okay.
And then the next day, Danny and Donnie are walking around going to find cigarettes, and Danny sees this bottle of liquor, and there's no English on the label whatsoever. It's like some Polish moonshine. And Donnie convinces him not to get it, because he knows it's going to be a bad idea.
Don't do it, man.
Don't do it. And so Danny doesn't do it.
Whoa, nice.
He doesn't. But this is all bullshit, of course, because Danny's just going to wait till Donnie's not around to be the voice of reason. Donnie, the voice of reason. Jesus Christ, what is this world coming to? So anyways,
there you go.
Danny sneaks out of the hotel later that day, grabs the bottle. We're in this hotel room, like, the next night. On Saturday, we all decided to stay an extra night, right? We're just like, fuck it, I canceled the wedding. Everyone's like, we're not coming back, this is too cool. We're doing this. And he brings this Polish moonshine up to the room, and I went to the bathroom just before Danny walked in the room with this moonshine, right? Yeah. So I go to the bathroom, and I hear the front door open, and then I hear like, "Well, boys," and then I hear Donnie go, "Danny, you didn't. You did not," And so he pours his thing, and the next thing I know, I'm sitting on the pot, and I hear our drummer Aaron just and I come out, and we'd ordered like this giant spread of appetizers for the whole room, and he fucking took one sip of the shit and threw up all over all the chicken wings. So it's like you could have picked anywhere else but what we were gonna eat, right? And that's
what happens when you drink Polish Everclear,
dude. This stuff was so nasty that like you drank it, and like your entire mouth immediately was void. Like completely devoid of moisture, like all the alcohol percentage was so strong, you're just like,
yeah,
like instantly.
Your kidneys just stop working.
Yeah, and it's brutal. It's brutal stuff.
Instantly.
I still have it. I buried it in my backyard so that nobody could. No, I'm serious. It's by the tree. My girlfriend started to get into it, and Danny came to town one time. He's like, "You still got that Polish shit?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like,
let me get the shovel.
Yeah, and I was like, "We're not bringing it out." And he's like, "Why not?" And I was like, "Cause I got shit to do tomorrow." Like, I guarantee you, it's still buried in my backyard by an evergreen tree.
Holy fuck! That just hurt me hearing that story.
That was that whole weekend.
It damaged my kidneys.
That whole weekend was maybe one of the best times I've ever had.
Yeah,
ever,
cool, man.
Ever.
Fucking A. Cheers.
All my trips, all the things I've ever done, all the crazy shit me and Mr. Krez have been a part of. Like,
Fuck
that
yeah,
was
man.
one of my favorite times I've ever had.
You guys are the hardiest of the fuckiest. If I may give you that title. Seriously, you mean, like, if you're going to be in a band, you better go on tour. And you are the reason why, Luc Hart. Because
what?
If I wouldn't have met you on tour, my life would fucking suck balls. There would be zero validation. there'd be like, no, I'm too much, and I can't be like crazy. No. As long as there's Danny Kreshniak and fucking Luc Hart around.
We would have.
As long as these people are walking the earth, everything is fine.
We would
all
have bands come to like the house all the time, like either Danny's place or mine. Your intro song is a Sparky tune.
Yeah.
And one time those dudes showed up to my house with no warning whatsoever. Like they weren't playing a Regina show. And they thought they were going to, like, blast through to... I can't remember which direction they were going. They were either going to hit Winnipeg or Calgary or something. Right?
Yeah.
And I had no idea they were coming. And so I'm standing in my house. I'm just about to go to bed.
Ding dong!
No, not fucking ding dong.
They broke in.
I hear a bang, 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 bang on the back door. So I'm in my underwear, and I'm like, I go... look out the window in the kitchen, and you can kind of see who's at the back door. and there's fucking at least 9 or 10 people standing at my back door, and I'm thinking, this is an ass-kicking long overdue that I've got coming to me. Like, these guys finally found out where I live.
Ding dong.
Like, it's on now, yeah. And they're just like, why don't you come outside, you know? And so...
Get out of here, Hart!
Well, like, it's 3:30 in the morning. You know, it's pitch black.
Yeah.
And there's like, you know, at least 9 or 10 people standing outside my house. So I'm only in my gits, just like how Danny answered the elevator that one time. And I run into my room to
Do you have
grab...
bad abdomen tattoos, too?
No.
Did I say that right?
Abdominant?
Abdominant.
Abdominant?
Abdominal?
He's a dominator of the abs.
Abdomen?
Abdomen.
Abdomen tattoos. Sorry.
Not on your arms. Okay, so anyways, so I run to my room and I got like my little bat that I used to have from like kids' t-ball. You know, because it's aluminum and I still have it and it goes around corners nice. And then I grab this knife and shove it in my, you know, my boxer briefs, like into the crotch area.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be able to just like sling the knife out, you know, without slicing some major artery or some shit like that.
Just gut yourself
anyways,
in front of the
so
blobber.
as I'm settling up for battle in my bedroom, I hear this knock, 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 knock on the window, and my blinds are open, and it's Chris Douglas, like Balls from Sparky,
yeah.
and he's just like, hello, and I'm like, what the fuck, it's you guys? I'm like, can we stay the night? I'm like, sure, open the door, and like the floodgates of 10 dudes just coming in. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, pick a spot, fuck.
Well, I had Grandma on the podcast.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I think he was 26 or something like that.
26?
Yeah, right
Well,
before.
podcast 26, something like that.
Oh, I was going to be like, Grandma hasn't been 26 for a long time.
But he was in town.
He's actually earning the name Grandma these days.
He was in town much like you, just, well, with
the-
another
with
band
the blue-
or whatever.
yeah,
Because he's in like
blues
19 bands, right?
Yeah, guy's a machine. He's like Troy.
Just one sec. All right, we gotta piss. So we're gonna do
Planet
a
Eater
song.
song.
A Planet Eater song.
You wanna do a Planet Eater song?
Yes, please.
Let's do Smiles Black, just because I love it so much.
Gangster. See you in 1 minute. That was Smiles Black by Planet Eater. Holy fuck. Tell me about the Planet Eater.
Well, the one thing about Planet Eater is
I'm such a good orator. Orist.
That song actually almost didn't make the EP. What happened is I was in New York and
what? Why?
Because it's fucking New York, baby.
Okay, all right, cool.
You need a reason to go?
No.
Okay, so I was in New York and the chick was out shoe shopping, and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go hit up like some guitar stores and shit like that." And what I wanted to do was see if I could find any really cool outboard gear for my studio and shit,
okay, yeah,
killer little preamp and stuff, I mean,
you're in New York.
You're in New York, like, they're not gonna...
Really quick, sorry to cut you off, but Black Powder is...
Black Powder is my new mixing facility.
Cool.
So what I do is I have a number of large production facilities that I have access to that I, like...
That I
track at, right? Because... the modern model is definitely not, $700,000 for a rock and roll record where you track and mix everything. It's gone, man. So I track at a few really large facilities like Blue Door, great place. Brian Manns runs it, and he is a dream to work with. As a studio manager.
That's in Regina?
Yeah, as a studio manager, Brian Manns and Blue Door. He comes in, he likes to meet the artists that are, recording in the studio. And it's very much that old school, like, 70s version where, or maybe how the rest of the world's been doing it. But he comes in, he likes to meet the band that's tracking there. Make sure you're all in the up and up. Make sure everything's in the lounge that you want. Everyone's comfortable. He'll stick around, listen to what kind of music you're laying down in the studio, and then he says, once the record's done, give me a copy. I'd love to put it on the wall, and then he's out of there, and he lets us do our thing.
Cool.
And another thing I've been doing is working at CBC1 in Regina. Wow. Jason Plum from the Waltons runs it now.
What?
Yeah.
The show The Waltons?
No, the band.
Oh, the band The Waltons.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so Jason Plum runs CBC1.
That freaked me out.
And it's a really, really cool studio. And they've got a ton of Neve shit to play with. So, you know what I mean? So I get super
really
giddy.
Super rad stuff.
Yeah.
The circuitry on the Neves is pretty good, so you can achieve maximum clarity through your frequencies.
Anyways, so I usually contract larger facilities to track, and then I'll take it back to my place and mix, and then do any kind of overdubs there.
Best of both worlds. Like, you have to have this huge place to be mixing.
No, and I don't want that overhead either. I just want the tools that I use to mix a record,
exactly.
Right? And so my new place is called Black Powder. And it's a fucking fantastic little mixing room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And every day I wake up and I put it on my own property. So I wake up in the morning and I walk out in my underwear with the coffee and walk out and start plugging away.
Well, the artist would want it that way too, where you're the most, like, when in the mixing phase. mixing mastering phase. It's
Yeah.
like you want that guy to be the most comfortable.
Oh, absolutely.
Walk out and do his thing.
There's, I say I say that to make it sound more appealing, like to go out in, the underwear with a coffee, but normally that's not the case. Like, because it's my job, I feel it's important to put on some kind of uniform.
Fair
just
enough.
like
Yeah.
when I play guitar or when I go to jam,
Yeah.
I don't ever show up in flip flops and shorts and shit like that.
Right.
I put on the same jeans I would wear for a show.
Yeah.
I put on the same kind of shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd lace up the boots.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
I'm not showing up in pajama bottoms and shit, and having my barefoot big toe press one of the effects pedals. Like, that's bullshit. Show up like you're ready to do your job. Like, when I go to the studio, if I'm going to do real work, I will get dressed up like I would to play a show. You know what I mean? Because it stops me from being too contemplative or too lazy or too comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, you're there to do something.
Yeah.
So
There's
dress.
a purpose.
Yeah, act accordingly, son.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But we're looking to release a brand new track.
Cool.
For just before these
So
festivals.
who's all in Planet Eater?
Okay, so we have, like I
You're
said
a super group.
before on the show, I said there's no such thing. Before I said earlier in the show, I said I haven't let Donnie out of my sight the entire time since I've met him. Right?
Yeah.
He lived with me for years, and we've been working together for a long time. Cool. So Donnie's our front man again, because good luck finding somebody that sounds like that.
Yeah, he's rad.
Yeah. And then I haven't officially played in an act with Troy Bly since Dirtbread. So it was...
he was in Dirtbread.
Yeah. Well, he's the founder of Dirtbread.
I'm not hip to the Dirtbread.
Yeah, well, it's a long time ago, bro.
Yeah, fair enough.
But he was willing to come back, and
cool.
do something a little bit different than the Into Eternity stuff that he's been doing over the years.
Right.
Not that that's not great. Fuck you, Tim. You're too good at guitar. Why don't you stop practicing?
Well,
Anyways,
he has fun. You can tell he has fun playing that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, and that's the thing. I think he wanted a type of music to just be able to put on a little bit more showmanship and a little less concentration. Even though that guy, anything that has strings, that guy can play. Troy can play
he's
anything
a
with strings.
motherfucker. Yeah, totally.
And so
he's in the Bass Players Union.
Yeah.
Very exclusive group.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, it's a secret group. Nobody's invited.
So it's like that twice a meeting white people meeting
they all just. Victor Wooten is on the cover.
Oh, okay. So now we're letting Victor Wooten in. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I should have Victor Wooten. Sorry.
Anyways, so what ended up happening was after that Calgary MetalFest, Agonal was, everybody had these different opportunities that they need to pursue, and it's totally understandable.
Yeah,
and
life happened.
Yeah, life. And it wasn't that we didn't want to keep doing that. And it's not that we'll never play again, because I guarantee you 2 jams and we'd have a set ready again to play.
Right. Yeah.
If the timing would be right.
But
But
Planet Eater was like an extension of that. It's like
not so much.
Now we can do that.
Not so much because Troy and Donnie were living at my house at the time.
Okay.
Right. So I'm living with 2 of the guys I've done most of the music with in my entire life, and we started hanging out with Nick Eichhorst and Devin Ubel, right? And these guys, they were in jam spots that we used to be in.
Right. You just been around them a lot.
Yeah. And I was always
doing stuff.
I was always really impressed by some of the stuff that I'd hear them come up with, like,
right.
You know how it goes, like
next door, you're like,
yeah,
whoa,
you're
cool,
just like, holy fuck, yeah, like that's pretty cool. And we ended up hanging out and just like, doing hallucinogens. And then one night, maybe on hallucinogens, maybe the day after, we just kind of looked around and went, there's exactly a band in this room right now. Like
You do this, you
I'm
do
a guitar
that.
player, Donnie's a singer, Troy's a bass player, Devin
Awesome.
plays guitar, and Nick plays drums, and we're just like, this is like, like we have exactly a band here, and so we kept saying like, let's jam sometime, and those guys are going like, yeah, right, yeah, I'm sure, because how it goes when you're talking to dudes and you're like, hey, we should hook up some time and jam and see how it goes, and everyone, like, if you've been in this business for a while, you
Yes.
realize that, like,
Lots of people are full of shit.
yeah, or they just, it flakes out and they're not really as into it as it sounds.
Well, that's it too. It's just the universe unfolds as it should. Right?
Yeah, right.
Like sometimes it just doesn't work,
yeah.
and as it shouldn't.
Well, and
you don't want to be in a band with somebody you.
Well, sometimes
be in a
people
band
don't
with.
even make it to jam one, you know what I mean?
Right,
They just get
exactly,
drunk and
yeah.
go like, hey, right now I'm inspired to do this, but in terms of committing to it, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
So we ended up doing it one time, and we decided no preconceived notions
Yeah.
or whatever. Let's just
Bust out riffs.
Let's just bust out riffs and jam,
Yeah.
and like not like this is gonna be a band, anything like that. Excuse me. And one thing that I thought was really interesting is that Nick and Devin really had a rapport with each other early on. Because they actually hadn't played in a band together for over like 2.5 years, I think.
So Nick plays drums.
Nick plays drums and Devin plays guitar.
Cool.
And they hadn't.
And you play guitar.
Yeah.
And
Troy plays bass and
plays bass.
Donnie sings.
Cool.
And so they hadn't been in an actual outfit for a couple of years at least, right?
Right.
And but just like when me and Aaron Eberle from Agonal used to work together, I found that Nick and Devin had a really good rapport with each other because they were roommates, right? They lived in the same house together, and they would jam together constantly, not to write songs, but just to play, cool shit. So when we started doing the Planet Eater stuff, how much writing I was doing in Agonal, I was happy to initially take a back seat and see like what everybody else wanted to do instead of just imposing my completed
Like,
songs
I have
on the group.
500 riffs.
Yeah, or not even that. Like, I don't write riff by riff. Like, I'll usually write song by song, right?
Okay, fair enough.
And it's not that I welcome people adding their own stuff to it,
yeah.
but there's only so much you can do before you start to change the structure of my song, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard for people to be creative on top of a complete entity already, right?
Well, that's the thing, being in a band, right, is for you to be able to get the point across that you're trying to get across while doing it with other dudes.
Yeah, make it and set it up.
And you don't have sex.
Yeah. Says who?
I knew it.
Well, maybe that's the key.
Well, I
Right?
can't-
Why is Queen so amazing?
Well, I can't count how many times me and Donnie have kissed on the lips, But when we first started out, I wanted to see, me and Devin don't have the same taste in music. I like messy shit, like rule breaking,
right.
Ken Mode and Converge and stuff like that, and even like Nirvana and Utero, like just
weird
guitar playing that is just
Interesting.
like where most guitar players would be like, the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's not the
and it's
major
like
scale.
who said we had to? Just fuck you. I'm playing it 'cause.
This sounds cool.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, really? You're going to judge me when half the songs you listen to were released 30 years ago and then resampled? Why should I
And they're
give a
all
shit?
Buddy Holly songs anyway.
And plus, I'm not a good guitar player, so...
yeah. So fuck you.
Yeah. I'm doing the best I can. Fuck.
I do what I want.
Anyways, so I was really excited to
I'm
see...
the exact same bass player.
I was really excited to see what... That's bullshit. I was really excited to see what kind of foundation they could lay down as a rhythm section and then just kind of paint over top of it.
Nice.
Right?
Nice. Yeah, cool.
And then and then as time
organic, let it happen.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah,
totally.
and it's like, and Troy would learn the riff from Devin, And then Devin would be like, "This is how the riff goes," and I'd say, "Like, I don't need to know how. I don't want to know how the riff goes. You guys just play it, and then I'll see like what kind of other thing." It's almost like
what fits in.
Yeah, but it's like a really cool, irritating version of like something like a band like the Tragically Hip would do. You know, like a like the one guy's just playing.
You're losing me.
Okay, just wait. Stick with me. Like, I fucking hate the Trage, by the way. So, anyways,
the
Trage, bro. Hey, I'm from Saskatchewan. What do you want out of me? Anyways,
Tragina.
Tragina. Tragina, lame. Anyways,
traginically broken a hip.
But I always thought
get all the grants, by the way.
I thought it was cool that the rhythm guitar player and the bass could lock up together. And hold on, I'm grabbing Big Native beer right now.
No, Sagerts.
Oh, Sagers. Sagerson?
Sagerson,
bro?
Sagerts.
I thought it was cool that the rhythm guitar and the drums and bass could do something, and then I was just free to explore a little bit of noise over top, right?
Right, yeah.
But
like leady-esque.
Yeah, but still being a producer, I know that like even though like these are like foul-sounding notes sometimes, that like if you put them in repetition, it can become a nice structure for a verse or a chorus, right? So
again, vision.
Yeah.
Like what?
So we started out playing, and we just went for it.
Cool.
And it started to work out pretty nice. Like, we were having fun. And if I can be totally candid,
please do.
I didn't like any of the material at first at all. Right? Because I'd been so used to just doing whatever I thought the riff should be. You know, like, I'm not taking away from
you
any
were
of the...
being a diva bitch.
No. On the inside, on the inside, I'm old enough to know by now that you don't fucking just start going, "Well, that's not what I," you know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's
my name's Whitney and Bobby.
Yeah.
Whitney Bobby.
So
no, but I see what you're saying. Where it's like you're working with dudes.
So I didn't necessarily like the straight ahead death metal riffs, you know. Mm-hmm. But I was willing to just like internalize that and kind of go, okay, but you know, like, how many songs have you written before? Remember how you don't always like them right off the bat. Like, sometimes it takes a little bit of work. And slowly but surely, like every band, well, not every band, but like, you know, any good band, you start to get each other's tempo down. You start to get each other's like emotions down. You realize what this guy wants, what this guy wants. Right.
Well, and I just wanted to say the littlest tweaks in a song too, like little tiny tweaks happen that just like little, and then that ends up being the hook.
Dude, that's,
you know what I mean.
That's my whole job,
like,
producing records.
That's where the creative process becomes so fucking magical and amazing. Where it's like you do that, you bite your tongue, you're like, stuff's like not as I would prefer it. And then somebody comes up with an idea, or you come up with an idea, or whatever happens.
And it can just be, it can be like, so subtle as an extra note, or just, you know what I mean?
Or you throw one of those.
Exactly, or so subtle as eliminating one note. Right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I feel
to make it all
so many people today, you know, inexperienced people with production are always looking for the addition, you know, like,
I'm going to be the one that's different, by adding one note.
Yeah, or they think like this part's not quite good enough yet. Maybe we need to just pile more shit onto it.
Right.
But sometimes,
most of the time,
it's more valuable to just like pull it away. Like,
that's what I've realized too in production, if I may say.
Yeah.
BigNateProductions.com is.
One
is like, as much as I was that guy that you're just talking about, where it's like, no, complicated's better.
Yeah,
which it is. Like, I still feel that way. Like, I still feel I want to fuck with people. I want to screw with their heads. I you know, but. You know, like, for example, when we met when I was in Kilyakai, I used to play bass like a guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
Try to hit every note.
No, I remember
that. Try to fucking hit.
Yeah, and it's like, what are you doing?
To try to be true to it.
Yeah.
To try to be like, no, I'm the back, you know, I'm like the low end behind this craziness.
Yeah.
when in my new band that's like 6 years old, Kayaktis, it's like, no, I'm just going to hit those whole notes.
Yeah.
Well, he's fucking doing that crazy shit, right?
One of our main...
And that's where like, just to finish my point, is that you understand that less is more.
Absolutely.
It's people can only comprehend so much.
Right?
In so many milliseconds.
You know, like, there's only enough room for one Dillinger escape plan. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, and I love all like music grind. Like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, there's only, like, really, like, one grind band.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, by the time you start copying...
Don't get me wrong. Don't hate me, people. Don't send me mail.
By the time you start copying, you're too late to the party. You know what I mean?
Fucking A. Fucking A.
But with Troy is so much better at all stringed instrument. Like, if you see this guy's inside of his house, he's got like a cello, a mandolin, like a stand-up electric bass.
Yeah.
Like he's got anything with strings on it, he'll learn to play.
I follow his video feed.
Yeah, and he's really phenomenal at that shit. But with Planet Eater, like, he wants to explore so much of that stuff that he's learned. But he also realizes that this isn't the kind of band where it's just like we decided at one point to play hit metal. You know?
What?
Hit metal.
What's that?
Well, where it's well organized, you know, the riffs aren't too fucking complicated. If you want to throw in like a cool solo or something. By the way, I'm not a great guitar player, so fuck you, don't judge me on my solos. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just like you have to I don't know, there's so much stuff out there that's just like, look what I can do.
Kayaktis.
And it's a little bit different when you play with a guitar player that makes other guitar
players hate me so much.
Awesome.
The other day he was like, "Could you talk about our band on your podcast?" And I just like rip on us. Fuck. Sorry, Che.
Yeah.
Go to Kayaktis band, like KYOKTYS. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why I can't.
Their guitar player though, the Kayaktis guitar player.
Yeah, he's a bit of an alien.
Oh, like this dude, I fucking
no.
Seriously, I've seen him every time I see him play. Yeah, I'll have a hit of this.
Well,
hang on, just. Oh my god, my goddamn lungs!
Jeez, you guys.
Uncle Grandpa.
Sorry there, I was just having a hit of the Marinahoonie.
Anyways, your guitar player is fucking like that guy. I've seen him play I don't know how many times, and every time he finishes a song, I just go, "What the fuck?"
I'll never forget. What was that first place you saw us at on our first tour? Downstairs,
Saskatoon.
Laps, yes.
We still talk about that. It's like you were freaking out so much because you had seen only Killy Cat before.
Yeah,
it's like pretty straight, like death metal-y, like crazy.
Yeah.
Like crazy riffs, and then Kayaktis is totally different. Like we slow it down sometimes and shit.
And
you were freaking out.
Sorry, we just dropped something on the floor.
Yeah.
But watching fucking Doug play is unreal. See, we didn't actually drop something on the floor there because I've done so many drugs and drank so much.
You forgot.
I forgot Doug's name, and I feel bad because I really love Doug.
It was hilarious how much you were spazzing out that night.
Oh, dude,
yeah,
dude,
it was like we talk about it. It's like Doug will be like, "Man, your buddy, what was your buddy's name?" He'll say the same thing. "What was your buddy's name?" I'm like, "Luc Hart, man." He's like, "Fucking Luke was losing his mind."
Well, you know what it is? That guy's not only like a super aficionado, but the amount of flavor he has in his guitar is unreal.
That's because of the band.
Yeah.
When we first met him, he was a little tight. He was a little robot.
But
and we were like, "Dude, all those notes."
He's got some nice Dimebag Texas in him, though. That yeah, I lose my mind when I see that dude play. He's so great.
Oh, cool.
I remember that. I was there. That was the first time I ever saw a friend's band play in a different city.
Yeah.
And as soon
Oh,
as they
that's right. You
started,
came to that
the
show.
crowd was freaking out, and that was you, eh?
Yeah. No, I
was so
I was
great.
losing my goddamn
Okay,
mind.
here's a
They heard
really
Doug, and they're like, "What?"
here's a really fucked up story. That night at that venue, at that show, I walk into the bathroom to take a piss.
Uh-oh.
Doug has his video camera out.
Okay, good. I thought I was in the bathroom.
This fucking guy was like, yeah, somebody puked in the urinal. and it was like, you look at the
Guilty!
urinal, and you're like, oh yeah, somebody did puke in the urinal. That's interesting. And then as soon as you have that thought, this guy...
Maybe they were watching Doug's guitar playing and they
This
just had
guy-
to throw up.
This guy was like, I'll eat it. That was I swear to God. That was the next thing out of his mouth. He was like, I'll lick it. Or so it was something to that effect. I'll lick it.
Oh my god.
And Doug has his camera out. And
Is
I'm
there like a
sitting there
special
like,
disease? Is like where
you
you
kidding me?
crave hepatitis C or something like that?
It was like, we don't want you to do that. Why? You know, like, why?
Nobody wants you to do this. Why are you
He was like, no, I'll do it. It was like, okay, you know, like if you feel like you need to lick the puke in the urinal. And he totally did. We have this shit on video. It's too fucked. You can't make these stories up.
Did you even buy him a drink?
No.
Oh my god, you loser! Learn economics.
No.
101.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
Something
if you're
for
licking
nothing.
puke out of a urinal,
Yeah, okay.
fuck you, buddy.
Maybe
you haven't
you're-
licked puke out of a urinal, right? Luke?
No, you're probably
See?
not good with money or bets if you're looking puke out of the urinal.
Oh,
At
man.
least get compensated. Fuck,
Ah,
I
that
know
was-
there's
that
free
was-
healthcare, but Jesus.
Sorry,
puke
I
out of
just
the urinal.
grinded this whole podcast to a halt, but when we brought it the
Remember
left.
that.
Think
was,
about all that iced piss, like underneath that puke, like congealing with it. And
Does
like,
that place still exist?
which
rock,
place?
rock
Leps?
bottom.
Oh.
Well,
No, that wasn't right.
How do they change the name of that place like every fucking 10 days?
Right. So
And
that
they-
was the same venue.
Yeah.
How about stop
On
changing the
Broadway
name of
there.
the place and get rid of that giant pillar in front of the stage that
I
blocks
know.
out the whole one side of the stage? You
Welcome
dummies.
to Western Canada.
No kidding.
Fuck. They're like, dude, I went to Inferno Fest in Norway, and it was like this 3-tiered thing.
Yeah.
There was like the floor that held 1,000 people. The second tier
Oh, you mean
held
like Foufounes in
500.
Montreal?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like these were venues that
Yeah,
are
that's
built
a fucking venue.
for music.
Yeah.
You know, to be
Yeah, not
for
this like,
sight
hey, look,
lines.
some old fucking dry cleaner abandoned this place, so
Yeah.
I guess you guys can use it to serve cheap beer and have bands that don't get paid.
Right. Well, was it the Wash and Slosh?
Yeah,
Wasn't that a
yeah.
thing?
And that, I don't understand.
So in a laundromat.
Well,
Tell me about this place.
okay.
I never got to get there.
Okay, so whatever the fuck it's called now, who gives a shit? It was the Roxy and then Rock Bottom and then who cares? It was originally it was this place called the Wash and Slosh.
That was the
Yeah, it's all the same place.
wow.
And it's never changed. The layout's never changed.
So they had washing machines in that basement.
You know where the backstage is? Like where everyone's gear sits on the side?
Yeah.
Like where you'd think there'd be arcade machines or something. You know, you go down the back stairs and on the side.
Oh, it makes total sense.
That's where all the washing machines were, and it was a totally cool place because bands on tour could show up early during the day and fucking do all their laundry.
Or like show up just before, do all their laundry on stage,
Yeah, like put it in the
flip
spin,
it over the dryer.
put it in the spin during set. You know. Anyways, but like I at least understood the model of that. Of course, you're not gonna fucking make a bunch of money off of traveling bands doing the
Right,
laundry.
in
It's like they're
Saskatchewan.
probably stealing quarters off of the fucking parking lot floor. So
Putting plugs in
yeah,
there. right?
exactly.
Like
or like a string
slugs.
attached to the coin. Like it's like, it's an old timey little jukebox. You know.
have the Anarchist Cookbook.
But yeah, no, it hasn't changed at all inside. And honestly, like Saskatoon's such a really cool musical city, but I still to this day haven't fully grasped that town. I don't know what they like. They change everything what they like all the time.
Huh.
Like one day it's like grindcore is the coolest thing that ever happened in Saskatoon. And then the next time you go up there, everyone's wearing Indiana Jones hats and like leather fucking side bags with tassels, and being like, "No, this is I told you not to trust anyone, Dr. Jones." You know, and like, and it's I don't know, it's a great town, it's a great art town, great music town, but they flip flop back and forth on what they actually like all the time. You know,
is it because it's a university town?
Yeah, it's a university town, right? So now I'm that old man that's just like, you know, like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Saskatoon's stupid. Regina's where it's at.
I'll say Saskatoon's stupid any day, but I won't follow with it. Regina's where it's at.
Right, because it's not.
Regina,
there's carjacking.
Regina's the town I grew up on, bought a house for a very low price, and finished my mortgage before I was 30. So that's why I live in Regina.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now it makes sense. Well, cheers.
Yeah.
Sir. You're a very smart man.
But, you know, I love...
Oh, freedom.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Yeah,
that is neat. You know what? You know, like the other thing, the problem with Regina is that like all these new venues opened up in Regina, and they're like exclusive, like folk singer-songwriter places. Like, I'm not just talking about all these little coffee shops with the tiny stage where you can't fit a full band on. Like, there's a restaurant called the Mercury on 13th.
Okay.
That's like a 50s burger diner, right? And they have the greatest punk shows you've ever seen.
Oh,
and like,
as they should.
Agonal played there one time. They clear out all the tables. All the lights inside are bright red. You know, so it's just like weird to be in there. They have a beer on tap, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like one of those
Calgary beer.
One of those places when you order a mixed cocktail, they have to crack the can of soda to put it in. Like there's no well gun or whatever. But they put on like they put on the greatest punk shows. And one time Agonal played there, and so we're setting up, and Planet Eaters played there too. On both occasions this happened, but luckily with Agonal, Aaron was an electrician, and we blew the power as soon as we plugged in. And then Aaron goes, "None of these fucking plugs are up to code." And he goes out to his car and free of charge redoes all the plugins around the stage up to code, which there's no stage, by the way. There's just a place with more plugins than seats. So,
and he happened to have his drill.
He had all, so he redoes all the plugins, gets them up to code and everything. I'm hauling the PA out of this flooded basement to set it up. But these punk shows that they have there are unreal. Like, people go nuts. They cram in it like window to window.
Good.
And the place is nuts. And we played there with Planet Eater as well. And we really like the venue. But unfortunately, we're one of those bands, we don't agree to shows with minimum stage value anymore. And it's not because we feel we're above it. It's just that every time we play, we want to be represented as our brand, have our like side scrims and our production.
Totally.
Because
and the power can't be blowing.
Well, yeah, and our songs are so easy that we have to put on production so that people think we're really good, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
But I wish
do you have your tab on the internet? I mean, I bet there's some 15-year-old that wants to play it.
Fuck.
Is there any Planet Eater? Have you put out the Planet Eater tab book yet?
I should. Do it. You know what?
You should do it. You can put it in Long and McQuaid in fucking Regina.
Dude,
you're welcome. 5%.
Yeah. 5%. If someone played it once, that would be enough for me.
Could you imagine if you had a tab book? You walked into Long and McQuaid.
You know, here's the thing. There's so many bands out there. I think about this a lot, actually. There's so many bands out there that are really popular. Like, they're not big name bands, but they're underground bands, you know, and have done well in their genre, but haven't broken through that next ceiling, you know. And there's a lot of guys out there, like there's a lot of bands that I love that are peers of mine that I would love to know how to play their tunes, if only just for inspiration and like to open up my, you know, ability a little bit more. But there's no tab because nobody's going to sit down and do it. I think some of these bands should just put out their own goddamn tap.
No doubt.
You know
like
what
the
I mean?
book, just like fucking Metallica.
It's just like advertising,
How much
just
does
like
it cost
anything else.
to get that fucking printed up? Right?
If your fans know how to play your music, they're just gonna love it even more.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna post those stupid YouTube videos of them being like, "Oh, it's a cover of this." You know how you type in the video you really want to see, and the first 4 results are the fucking videos you don't want to see because it's some guy in his boxers playing a Stratocaster version of Meshuggah with the strings turned.
With this 6 string,
Yeah,
you just got
exactly.
set up along. Okay, so I want to take a break, and I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. What Endos song do you want to hear? Ooh. Do you know a name?
I know I do.
Because I want to talk about Big James after this, because that's how we met. If not for Big James, I might not have met Nancy.
Really?
That's how crazy this goes. So, in an alternate universe where I didn't meet Big James, I would have never met you.
Okay, let's start with Black Cloud. I'm in a school bus drinking Crown Royal.
Yeah.
What do you want from me,
Old
people?
handy bus, really. Yeah, no.
Why would you ever leave this place?
And then
Seriously, I would I finished my house, like my mortgage, and it's all fine. And all I ever want to do is just hang out in my garage. I've got this huge leather couch in there. And, like, my girlfriend will get mad at me because she won't see me for 2 days. She's like, where you been? I'm like, just in the garage, just sleeping.
on the ottoman.
Yeah. yeah. There's an ottoman in the studio.
Awesome. We're going to listen to some Endos.
You're
Black
awesome.
Cloud. We're going to be back. You don't have to listen anymore.
You have to listen.
But I think you should.
Next time I'll tell you a story about a transsexual hooker when we get back from the
we
break.
can't even get into tranny stories. Holy fuck. We're going to get into tranny stories after this. See you in a minute.
This is
So Rip and us.
Yeah.
I'm pissed off too.
Yeah, no shit. I mean,
Those guys are too good to stop.
I agree. I am going to miss all the mornings with my hands being so sticky from the Jägermeister. And having a bunch of really cool guys randomly drop in on me at my house when they're going through Canada. Because those guys toured
A lot.
Yeah,
man.
like
They
sons
put
of
a lot
bitches, man.
into it.
Yeah.
Man. Fuck.
and
It doesn't seem right. It's like, you know.
we've got a great photo of Pepe on Danny's toilet from years ago when he fell asleep on Danny's toilet. Me and Big James love each other like a fat kid love cake.
Yeah, man. Big James. That's how we know each other in essence.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Well, that guy, like, I don't know, that guy.
He did so much touring that we eventually met each other.
Well, not only that.
That's wild.
He's one of those guys, like, he'll say on stage, you know, like, don't go anywhere. I'm going to be back by the door, and
Yeah.
I want to meet every single one of you.
Come
Come hang out. Like, he's great at that PR shit, man. He's great at it.
Well, I mean, is that PR shit or is that just being a real person?
No, I mean, obviously he wants to. He wouldn't be in this racket if he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, he's not doing it now. I think it might be driving him a little insane. Like, he should be on tour right now.
Yeah,
like,
but he's
been
doing
saying it, right? He's like, it's because...
But he's been doing a lot with X's for Eyes, though.
Yeah, no, for sure. But in the past, like, years, he's been touring at this time with Endos. And now
Yeah.
he's not. And it's like, fuck, I want to be on tour. You know?
Well,
like,
yeah, I mean...
He's just... That's just how it is.
I've had some incredible times with that dude, and I've learned a lot about what it means to just engage the crowd not only during showtime, but afterwards and beforehand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, people always say like musicians work like an hour and a half a day. You know, there's load in, there's play in, load out. But that's not the thing. You know, like, I truly believe that, like, I've been on tour with some bands that I won't name that, you know, like, walk around town in their PJs and shit. And I'm not saying you got to wear your full stage regalia.
Yeah, but that whole thing.
But I mean, you know, these are people that really like to see you. Like, they come out and they pay their hard-earned money and they make their plans. They alter their plans in their life to come enjoy your music. And when they run into you, they want to run into like that person that they know from the persona from the record, and you owe it to your fans to be cordial, to be, you know, inviting, and to want to hear their feedback.
Yeah.
Like, even criticism I welcome amongst, you know, people who come up to me after I play, because I want to, and with the records I do too, I want to hear the feedback, right?
Totally.
I mean, there's, to some degree, you have to do things that you know are right, or do things for yourself, or do things because you know it's the right decision for the band.
Yeah.
But at the same time, all that goes away with the stroke of nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So,
like,
I mean,
if it's not hitting
you
it's
owe
not
it to
hitting
your
you.
audience to listen to what they have to say about it.
Absolutely.
But Big James,
he's always blown my mind because he's been able to do that in Canada.
Yeah,
you know, like which might as well be Russia.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
but
right.
even shittier than Russia, because here's why: Russia has 116 million people. We have 35. Same land.
Yeah,
mass,
but you know the thing with metal is, though, you can't just like
to be able to do that.
This ain't
across
like
the
this ain't
country is pretty nuts, is all I'm
1962
saying.
where you could play the same venue for an entire week.
Yeah,
doing two shows a
the
night.
six nighters are dead.
Yeah,
That
the
died in
six
80s.
nighters, like with like
Yeah.
like that's like what stand-up comedians do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're the only ones that can still do that.
Exactly, and musicians can't do that anymore.
But
you get screwed with travel because you cannot bring that show out over and over and over to do.
If you're one guy and you're a stand-up comedian, you can.
Well, of course, because you don't have to lift anything.
Like, I think the Six Nighters Dead was stand-up comedians too. That was like a weird '80s thing.
No, but the road guys still do that shit though.
Not in Alberta.
No. Yeah, maybe I'm talking
the
south of the border.
Well, sure, but only like cover bands.
Oh yeah,
even
wedding
in the
bands and
80s
shit,
with
and they can't even do that shit anymore.
And
like you can do
stuff.
a weekend at a bar if you're a cover band, and that's the most you can do.
Yeah, totally.
And then you go back to working for your local power company, and then the next weekend you drive out to another place and do some hick bar for 2.5 days.
But like a band like Planet Eater or Kayaktas couldn't set up for 6 nights and play.
And I'd love to
anywhere ever
because
anywhere.
That stuff that's like iron sharpens iron, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like doing those 6-nighters, that's what made bands really, really good.
Right. And there isn't that anymore.
No, because you're working one gig, right? Same venue, you know the tech, you know how everything's gonna go.
Yeah.
And you hone your show, and
that's true.
By the time
you come out and kill.
By the time you get to your next city, your show's 10 times better than it was when you got to the last city. Because
never been tighter in a band than at the end of tour.
Yeah,
like that's what I want to do on our next record is fucking go tour
and then immediately hit the studio.
Way too long, where there's it like fucks up everybody's life, and then. Boom! Right in the studio next morning.
Fuck yeah! Let me produce it.
Love to. It'd be awesome. You know where we should do it? Templeman Studios.
I agree.
Sun Temple Studios.
We were talking about doing the next Planet Eater out there.
Fuck,
Sun Temple Studio.
That's when Graham was on the podcast. Where it's a destination studio, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no,
like how rad would that be?
Oh,
like they have all the gear, right?
Well, yeah,
and Pro Tools rig, like
not
right?
only that. I said this to Balls, Chris Douglas, a long time ago. I said, one of these times we got to hook up and collaborate on something, if only just to get you from behind the board and just let you play guitar for a couple songs and not worry about operating the board at the same because Balls does all their stuff, right?
Right,
but and the same thing with me.
But they're open to other engineers.
Yeah, but the same thing with me. Like when I track my own stuff, there's nobody who could do it faster than me because I can feel the mistake in my guitar playing, and then I can hit stop, and then I can go back, and then start over or punch in or whatever it is, right? You know. Yeah. So adding somebody is just like. Mm-hmm. But I would like to have somebody who's going to change the way I try and do things because I try and push people to a certain space that they're not totally comfortable with, but that they can still execute in.
Yeah.
Right? So when I'm working with an artist, I want to take them to a point where they're not comfortable, but they're still able to fulfill their duties as a musician, right? So push them just far enough so that they feel weird about it. But because I don't want you to I want you to still have the same vibe that you're jamming, but I don't want you to treat it like this is a jam. Like this is a final take, man.
That's my thing. I try to do a lot of pre-production.
Yeah.
So we demo out of the basement and fucking we do the clicks.
Yeah.
Then we demo to the clicks.
Yeah.
And then hear if it works out, if it's good. And then we go in the studio.
Yeah.
Right? Like we make sure that the clicks are adjusted before so that
because you don't want to
everybody's even still when you're playing a click it's like robotic, quote unquote, you're out of your like I could see if like guys like you and I, like you say, you can sit there and record yourself and know you're out and all this to a click. But to do it then, what was funny, this band I recorded, Soundscraper, it was super awesome working with these guys. And I was like, we did all these clicks and did the demos. And then I was like, make sure the guitars are set up, new strings, like just set up. Make sure optimal. You try to do that, right? Optimal situation for everyone.
Oh, that's absolutely.
It has to be that way.
Like, when's the last time you changed your bass strings? Like last year? Well, are you fucking kidding me? How am I supposed to make that bright?
And who's the best setup guy in town? Let's get him on it with whatever strings he tells you.
See, that's another thing I've started doing a lot with drums is I bring in...
Me too, tuning guys.
Raw's drummer, Jeff Romanek. He's a pop drummer guy, but he's He's really good. And I like bringing him in on sessions, and I tell the drummer to get the hell out of the room.
Yeah.
Go smoke as many cigarettes as you want, or go bang your girlfriend quick, or whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
And just let the drum tech and me work out the tone of the kit. And then let the drummer sit behind it and go, this feels off, make adjustments and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, don't, you know...
Because it really is that. It's like, what does it sound like right now at this second at this place than what we're doing?
And my mic drums and the room drums are totally different.
My point was, with my quick story there, was that he had done this. He went and got set up and everything. And then we got there, and, like, we're laying down guitar tracks. And he has 2 rad guitars. And I'm like, that fucking string is out, man.
Yeah.
Like, that 4th string is out.
Yeah.
It's
the G?
It fucked.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, tune. And it's still, I'm like, man, something's fucked. And we ended up finding out, like, we ended up having to trash both of his guitars he was going to use. Go borrow guitars. Put new strings on them. And do all this. And the recording came out rad. I mean, it didn't come out exactly as he wanted to, because he had a Tele and like an Explorer on his album instead of his ESPs or whatever he had. You know, but it, like, the tones were rad and everything. But it took that, like, no, that's wrong. Like, that's, like, sorry, but it's killing me. That's wrong. And you are hiring me to tell you when stuff is wrong.
I completely agree with you.
And that's that. It at the end of the day, it ended up coming out awesome, which was sweet. You know.
Well, like,
because it was mind blowing at the time. At the time, it was like, what? I can't use my own. Like, I'm like, I don't know what's going on with this guitar, but that fucking G is out.
No, well, not only that, but you have to start working. You work backwards. Like, when you're recording, you go, like, it's you take it step by step. You don't go like, hey, something's not working, so, like, let's, like, same thing. Anybody who's done a lot of gigs knows how to trace the source of the problem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Troubleshooting.
Yeah,
yes.
You start with this, and it's like, you take the simplest form and you break it down. It's like, is it this? No. Is it this? No. It's like, there's the problem.
Yeah.
But one time I was doing this, like, indie pop alternative record called Coldest Night of the Year.
Okay.
And their singer was a fantastic songwriter. In the rhythm section, these guys have been playing together for years. My first record ever that I ever did was a band called This Machine Is the Fountain, and the bass player and drummer were in it. So I'd had a long history with them. Mm-hmm. And then we had a guitar player, lead vocalist of Library Voices, was doing lead guitar. And they're like a big Canadian pop band kind of outfit. Hand claps and everybody feels good kind of act. Anyways.
Very major.
Yeah. So, his guitar, he had, is either a Fender Mustang or is either like a Jag Stang, like a Kurt Cobain replica or something like that. I can't remember. And the sound was totally right for him. Like, it sounded just the way he should sound. But the guitar was in such bad shape, it was cutting out constantly. Like, you know,
that's like SGs, right? Like, those fuckers can't even go in tune.
Like
they just can't go in tune.
And it wouldn't work. And so we're at the time we're recording at the Swamp, my old space, the Swamp. And he goes, I'm like, I got like fucking 15 guitars at my disposal here, so, like, you know, let's find something else. And he's like, okay, but I need that single coil Fender sound. I can't have some kind of humbucker Gibson-ish type of tone, you know?
Right.
And I'm like, fuck, like, that's just eliminated like 85% of the inventory.
So I have one guitar.
Yeah. But the one guitar I walked over to this case, and I remember, because my pops jams down there too.
Cool.
And he knows guys from all different walks of life, and he's a gangster. But anyways, I remember that my pops had showed me this months ago, and I didn't know if it was still there. And I found this bag, like this guitar bag, by his rehearsal space. And I was like, if this is what I think it is, this is going to be the sound of the whole record, I guarantee you. and he goes like, you know, okay, well, what is it? And I unzip the top of the bag and I look inside, and I was like, it's what I think it is. And I pulled out
a single coil.
a 1957 Cream Stratocaster.
Whoa.
Like 1950.
Whoa.
You look on the back on the serial number on the locking plate from the neck to the body.
Yeah.
It's a like S50051, and then
I don't know what that means, but it's old.
It's like S51, so it means Stratocaster, or it's S57, so Stratocaster 57, and then the model number. It was like maybe like the 30th produced. You know. And this is back when Fenders used to weigh as much as Gibsons, you know what I mean?
Right.
And nothing's been replaced on this thing whatsoever. And we lit this thing up in the studio.
Cool.
And there's nothing that, like, he's like, I want that single coil sound. It's like, there's nothing that sounds like, hey, you want me to deliver you a single coil sound while your Fender doesn't work? How about a 57 Stratocaster? You know what I mean? Like Eric Clapton would be like, hey, can I buy that guitar off you?
Yeah, totally. I mean? Yeah,
right? And it sounded amazing. And we had to adjust tuning all the time for, like, because the intonation was out and stuff. But, like, if he was doing chords, we'd tune it one way, and then we'd tune it a different way for leads. But it didn't matter, because, like, the thing just... Oh, molto bella.
Yeah.
Says spicy meatball.
It's a recorder well.
But, you know, like, people have to be willing to try different things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go in the studio
again, that whole, like, challenge them as far as you possibly can.
Well, I fight
until they have a total breakdown nightmare crying.
Yeah, and then when they come back, they're okay.
Yeah.
Well, it is. You almost have to take a guy to tears.
Almost like,
until the point where, like, if you're any kind of, like, music production is a thing that people are good at, like, when they know how to arrange music and all that shit and know how to make somebody sound better. But in my opinion, real music production is knowing how to become emotionally involved with an artist and take them to the point where it's just about the point where they're about to quit the band and music altogether, and not to make it hard on them, but to take them so far out of their regular zone, so that they finally realize, like, this is a different scenario. And then the trick is to make them remember all that shit you just tried to erase, to make them comfortable again after you get them to settle in to the right spot.
I mean, like I've always tried to explain it this way, like, so when you play a show, that's baseball. And then when you record, that's cricket. Like,
interesting.
Like, you're hitting a ball with a stick.
Yeah.
But they're two totally different fucking games.
You're not slugging at the thing.
One's 3 days, one's 3 hours. At one, you eat popcorn.
Yeah.
At one, you have high noon tea.
Yeah.
You know, like, these guys are getting hammered all day.
Yeah, you're...
like, smacking this ball, trying to knock some sticks over.
Yeah.
And in this other one, there's no sticks you're knocking over. You're just trying to crack them out of the park.
Yeah, you're just trying to knock them out of the park. And that you're absolutely right, because at jam, all you want to do is just feel that...
And live, right?
Yeah.
And live is totally different.
Well,
from studio. I mean, it's so far removed.
It shouldn't be.
They're like weird,
time.
Like they're like third cousins. It's fucking.
It shouldn't be, because I just worked with this band called White Women, and they're
is that like Black Pussy?
They got a lot of followers from Africa.
Fucking Black Pussy just cleaned up, man. They just came through Canada. They're like, oh, guess what? Her name's Black Pussy. Everybody got all mad. It's
like,
leave
a sludge sheen on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, look at all that free fucking... What were we talking about? PR. All that free PR. Fuck. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's fine. I worked with this band recently called White Women, and two of the guys used to be in a band called Ghosts of Modern Man, and they're in regular Much Music lineup and shit.
Wow.
And then the drummer was in a band called Bluebeard, and obviously they've been in other bands. Like, I'm just coasting over for time, but these guys didn't want to do Click and didn't want to do that bullshit. They just said to me right away, they're like, we're not a mechanical band, we never will be. And by the way, I recorded these guys as demo when they're in Ghost of Modern Man, and they were about to go track with Kurt Ballou from Converge.
Oh yeah, whoa.
And I was recording the demos for it, and I had no idea at the time. They told me an hour before, like, they're like, hey, can we come in and record? I was like, yeah, fucking absolutely, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it took me 10 years, but I finally got the chance to work with these guys again.
Cool.
And they were like, we're not mechanical, we're not going to do that bullshit. So we said, fine, fuck the click, all live off the floor in a giant studio. And I just told them, I was like, here's the thing. If we're not going to do it to click, we're not doing any fucking edits. None of that garbage. You guys are going to have to nail
it's
it.
Tape.
And we're only doing 3 songs because that was all the funding that we got approved for, right?
Right. See?
We're only doing 3 songs.
It's very important that you say that.
Yeah.
Because, just real quick aside, I mean, the way that every asshole wants, like you and I, want to do it in the studio, where it's like, we demo it to the click, and da-da-da-da-da. The reason we want to do that is because it saves like 9,000 hours in the studio.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like, it really fucking does. Like, especially when you get down to editing.
Yeah,
like,
but
snap shit.
You know what? And you're totally right, but fuck it, who cares?
Yeah, but
man?
fuck it, who cares? Too. I agree.
All you need is... Nowadays, all you need is 3 good songs, man.
If everybody's tight, like I say, if you come off tour...
Yeah.
And then you rush right into the studio. Fucking right, man.
I told these guys, I was like...
That's performances. That's what you want, performances.
Yeah, like the records that everybody grew up loving.
Mm-hmm.
And I told these guys, if you guys want to do it like this, that's fine. But I'm going to kick your ass a little bit. And they were like, that's okay. We're ready for it.
Yeah.
And 28 takes we did of song 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not because we couldn't punch in or that... You know, I was like,
one performance.
If we're gonna do this, we're gonna if we're gonna go no click and everything.
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna edit at all. We're just gonna mix. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
And they thought, oh, dude.
There's no like, oh well, I want to take this part.
If I can find some in my car,
verse.
next time we go on the break, I'll fucking put one of their tunes on.
Okay, well, this podcast does have to end at some point.
Oh, well, can you just like stop recording and then we can just keep talking in the microphones? Like,
yes, see, that's truly getting hard in Nate's backyard. And until you fucking assholes out in listening land start paying me money, you're not going to get much more than what we fucking have here. So, I think we're going to wrap this up right now.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It is, no, but we're going to keep this going. But righthookmics.com.
Righthookmics.com. Pour a crown in your righthookmic.com.
So we need to play an X's Fries song because we love Big James.
Yeah. Hang on.
And they're from the ashes comes the phoenix.
You know what?
Isn't X's Fries amazing? They tried to sell 1 million records. They didn't do it, but who the fuck is selling 1 million records now? Nobody. But they sold a fuck ton.
They used to be 100 bands selling 1 million records. Now there's 1 million bands selling 100 records.
Right. And as one of those 1 million bands, they sold thousands.
Yeah, but you know what? Crazy. I love those fucking dudes, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
all those dudes,
they figured out a way. Have you sold thousands of records?
Collectively.
In your bands?
No.
See? You've sold 400? Yeah, see, it's just like us. It's like, okay, how many runs of 200 did we do?
No, I took an entire big cardboard box full of CDs and threw it in the trash and just said, it's the same thing as selling all of them.
See, you're like a big label.
Yes,
record.
I am a raper producer. I like to produce rape. Mostly what happens is that someone comes in, like, I wait for... I stalk the person that, like, stalks people for home invasions, and then when I get in there, I critique their style, and I'm like, oh, you're definitely going to leave some DNA there, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You know, like, I'm a rape producer.
I heard...
your butt!
I worked with the big producer at one time in 2010, and he told me that on... all the Michael Jackson records, the label would buy 1 million records and dump them in the ocean.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right?
Oh, I'm sure.
Because remember, you're like,
Dude, that's
how did Michael Jackson History come out today and it's already gone platinum?
Well, you know what? You know what, dude? Like investment firms do that shit all the time too to fudge the numbers. Hey, look at
insurance.
Look at Prince. Prince's like last major release that he did. He included one of his CDs with every ticket sold for his shows.
Okay.
And like this is way old news, but like you tour around the States and there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people in every place that come out to see Purple Rain,
so he
right?
Technically
so
sold
he
the record.
tacked on the record to the fucking
smart
show admittance,
Fuck yeah.
and then it's like those count as Billboard charts, baby.
Fucking right. Good.
The music industry is the most corrupt fucking business there ever was. This is worse than the mob. You have no idea what me and Nate deal with on a regular basis. This is like, we're just lucky enough to not be good enough to be fucking corrupt. That's the only thing.
Exactly. Well, and we're not corrupt, and it's so funny.
Yeah, speak for yourself, sir.
To try to get nice. To try to get
free
paid,
drugs.
To try to get paid for your art. It's a big deal.
Well, see, like
it's hard. Like artists are like I'll do like, for example, a live recording.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, sure, it's not that big of a deal, but guess what? Like, I have the stuff, I have the cables. Like, like you're in a band, can you make a live recording happen? No, you can't. I can. I can multi-track your band.
Yeah, a real live
and
then sweeten it later so you don't sound like the bunch of fuck stains you are.
Exactly. And I ask them for $100 and they get all weirded out. And you're like, fuck, dude. I wanted to ask you for $5, but I know you would think I'm a prick.
Oh.
And so I asked you for $1, and you're still weirded out.
No, that's garbage.
Fuck garbage. Everybody.
Fuck
the world.
All you musicians, you fucking you all. This isn't the Motley Crue.
Yeah, now we're berating you.
This isn't the Motley Crue biography where you're like, oh, I just bounced around from job to job so I could keep my bass in the trunk of my grandpa's car that I stole. You fucks all have jobs. And you cheap cunts, and I can
fuck your TV.
Yeah, and it's just like,
get a 40-inch TV.
I don't know if we can afford a demo record right now for like $2,500. And it's like, how about you just don't drink 8 pints every Saturday for like fucking 4 weeks? Is that too much to ask?
Or you bought a $690,000 house in South Calgary for no fucking reason with some bitch wife you don't like. That is going to be a legal matter in the next fucking year.
Well, I mean that's poetic justice all in itself. Though.
Welcome to Calgary.
Yeah.
See, this is why Danny hates Calgary so much. The same reasons I do.
No, I think it has totally different things.
Yeah, no, he's out in Vancouver. They have more inflated real estate than we do.
Yeah, but he's doing great with his journalism. And
of course,
that guy's
crushing
the shit.
it. He's playing cricket and baseball and smoking them both out of the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
And beating people up at both of them.
Shameless plug, Planet Eater SK. Can find us on Google, Facebook, Bandcamp, all that shit.
And
Nick Eichhorst, Devin Ubel, Troy Bly, Donovan Turner, and yours truly, Luc Hart.
And there's no black powder link, right? You have to just be a ninja.
See, Luc Hart doesn't have Facebook. I don't play that shit, homie.
Instagram?
Yeah, I have Instagram.
Is there black powder Instagram?
No. You have to. Here's the thing. I know
Luchart.
Yeah, thank you. I would have been at Lucas Hart, but some cunt in fucking Vancouver had to be a digital dance music producer.
Some stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
Lucas Hart. I'm Lucas Hart.
I don't play that shit on social media. You have to just literally just come find me.
Yeah.
And I know that businesses don't work like that, but I don't care. I don't want your fucking emotional bullshit involved with my business. You come talk to me man to man, look me in the eyes, and then I'll find a way to get you money that you don't have. Seriously, I've been the last 2 months I've been writing grants for people. Just be like,
I know, dude. I have to do this as part of my business. Start writing grants for people.
My pops put it very plainly one time. He said, nobody expects professional athletes to manage their careers, why would you expect musicians to be able to take care of their shit?
No shit, eh? We need some fucking agent prick.
Yeah, and then
Fuck,
no,
God
that's
damn
it's what's happening.
Manager, I need a manager.
What's
to line
happening
up
in the
gigs
music
for me.
industry is the fat's getting trimmed off. There's no assistant
course.
engineer. Now there's no engineer. Now there's no tape guy. There's no manager. It's all producer, and he has to do, like, it's like back in the 30s when the producer had to find the finances too.
Yeah, but dude, okay, all right. I guess we're still talking. Think about this. When has the music business has had like a 40-year window? Like you just said, the 30s.
Yeah.
Think about the music business in the 30s. They're recording on fucking wax, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Like it's fucked.
I just drank a whole lot of Crown. Hang on. Go.
There was no music business until Elvis. And then everybody got all mad about Elvis.
Yeah, but
then there was so then there's like
What
Steely
about all the
Dan.
dudes who
So then there's like Steely Dan, who fucking never played a show in his goddamn life, was just a studio band, made billions of dollars being a studio band.
Oh, the
You know, and
billions?
then that's,
Billions?
well, no,
They
millions.
have as much money
Millions
as
in the
Vince
70s.
McMahon.
Millions in the 70s, maybe.
You're fired.
I guarantee. I guarantee the Hollywood Hills they have a show. I'd love one, please. Anyways, point is the music business, quote unquote, only happened in like the end of the 60s, the 70s, the 80s.
No.
Like the 90s,
What about all the
up to 2000,
What about all
and then
the
the
Motown
internet
shit?
came out. The internet.
What
Well,
about-
yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, but you're talking about
Motown,
60s.
yeah.
You're talking about 60s.
Well, no, okay, 50s,
What about before that
40s,
when white
50s?
dudes from Upper Manhattan
Post-war.
We're buying fucking entire acts from Harlem's like entire discography for $100.
Yeah, no, Detroit. That was the last time Detroit was
I said
actually
Upper
a city.
Manhattan.
No, but you were talking about Motown,
Yeah,
which is in Detroit.
yeah. Well, yeah, Detroit and Harlem.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, right, like that was the 50s, and
It's a fucking
Sun
horrible
Records
business.
and all that, and all. Yeah, it's a horrible business. Is the point?
But what do you do, man? It's not like you're gonna do something else,
You just keep being a good man.
right?
That's all you can do.
And you get no thanks for
no
it.
thanks.
And that's
Your girlfriend hates you.
yeah. She's like, I don't understand why you always got to hang out with your fucking buddies.
You giving everybody a deal.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a deal.
Hey man, I'm really rooting for you. So like I'm gonna give you a deal, and it's like, and then these people are like, oh wow, like we totally got a deal. It's like, no, I gave everybody a fucking deal. You goddamn cheapskates.
Okay, so I'm going to end this podcast on this.
That rich people should tell their kids to join bands so that we can get paid.
No. We're good men. Well, yes.
Yeah,
But yes, I mean, you can't
if
deny
you're
that.
rich, convince
And
your
it's
kid to
stupid.
join a band and then give them a ton of money so that they can pay me, because fuck you.
But
Big James mics, right hook mics.
when that happens, don't be mad when Luc Hart and Nate Reno
Tell you that
are
you
crashing
suck.
fucking Beamers on the weekend because we don't give a fuck. And we have so much money. We have Kim Kardashian money. We're just being pricks with it. Don't be mad at us.
Wouldn't
Because
it be?
we've already worked for this money.
Wouldn't it be
We're
amazing?
in essence owed this fucking money.
Wouldn't it be amazing if all of a sudden the fashion industry just like adhered to guys like us, and it's like it's Nate Reno and Luc Hart
already?
looking
Or
shitty in their like 8-year-old clothes.
Dude, I said trends. Don't even man. I said trends. That's what I do. People just pick up on what I'm putting down. It's just how it is. And you too. So
Well, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Don't be mad, everybody, when Luc Hart and I are rich. Because we're going to burn a lot of shit at the Sparky Farm. It's gonna
And
be a
you're
good
all
time.
invited too, so don't be a bitch.
Yeah, right. If you're cool, you're invited. If you're fucking weirdo, we're going to ditch you.
I know we had certain points that we were supposed to touch on tonight.
Yeah,
But-
I don't think we got all of them greatly.
No.
But I think we did a good podcast.
But-
This is one of my favorite podcasts.
You know what? I was so happy when we were at Dickens Pub and you said, want to come to my house and do a podcast. Little did I know I'd be in a bus full of like cool gear and cool surroundings. Having some whiskeys.
Yeah, we're at like 2.5 hours here. It's like 4:44 a.m.
Nice. You can do part 1 and 2. Cheers.
No, part 2 is just going to be us getting hard.
Getting hard.
So thank you for getting hard in Nate's backyard.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
And thank you, Nancy, for getting hard in Nate's backyard.
You're welcome.
I wouldn't have.
But again,
I would have rather done nothing else. Wait, I'm
Great.
drunk. I would rather have fuck you.
So
Great
check
to
out
see you again,
Planet
Luke.
Eater.
Yeah.
Go to righthookmics.com. Go to bignameproductions.com. I wanted to say I feel exactly like you do, except I have a website. Like about that whole rant you just went on about you got to find me.
Yeah.
I know. I have a website and it makes it totally lame.
No,
but
it's not totally lame. I should have a website, but the fact of the matter is that like I really like hanging out with people that like I have an interest in, and then everybody
for sure.
else, I'm just like,
just because I have a website doesn't mean I meet anybody interesting.
True.
Like you're doing good by not having one, I would say.
Well,
but if you're in the Alberta area and you'd like to record,
You can take Alabama Man to the bowling alley where he drinks heavily and chews tobacco.
Wow, he can bowl.
When wife asks him where he's been, just use the action button and Alabama Man busts her lip open.
Shut up, bitch! Wow. I want to be just like Alabama Man.
Alabama Man comes with everything you see here, wife, sold separately.
I thought I told you to shut up.
holy lick, Alabama Man, wow. That was a Trey Parker, Matt Stone invention.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
We
I
should
met
give
that
them
cunt
credit.
in New York
Okay.
when they were doing.
We gotta go now. We gotta go.
Okay.
So we're gonna end this podcast.
Okay.
I love you. I love you. Thank you for being here. You're all hard as fuck. If anybody's listening to this,
I didn't even do
want
drugs.
if you're listening to the end of this, I want you to.
What the hell's the matter with you? Get a life, you fucking dipshit. Why are you still listening to the end of this?
I agree, but just to check to see,
Hashtag.
I want you to hashtag 597 to Gettin' Hard in Nate's backyard. I doubt you will, because there's nobody listening still. Hashtag 597. Nancy's saying no. I'm saying yes.
597.
If you listen, or put
Planet
star.
Eater SK.
How about this? Put star 597.
Yeah, star 597.
Star 5. Fuck hashtags.
Planet Eater
You
SK.
star that shit. You know, like what do we?
See you at Loud as Hell. It's going to be the best. We're playing
That's
with
right.
Ken mode.
Go.
Yeah.
Go to.
Armstrong.
Okay, there we go. Go to Armstrong. Go to Loud as Hell.
Go to Dickens.
Go
on
to-
July
Go to
19th.
Dickens.
Dickens, July 19th. Veiled Math Planet Eater. Day one. Crushing. Will crush your minds.
Go to Distortion July 17th.
Distortion, July 17th. For
Distortion,
another Big Nate
July
production.
17th for another Big Nate Productions.
That will rule.
That will rule.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Get the